Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope y'all are as excited as I am. This is going to be another standing stream. Yes, I did not put you guys through the 55 cranks of my my desk here, but I'm pumped. It's going to be a great night. We got a couple awesome guests that all of y'all know, so let's go ahead and get it in. So first off, let's say congratulations to dang old Matt, my man out there, number one in chat. I don't know what he's talking. Maybe he's talking about 40 millimeter. I know he's not talking about 40 caliber because that doesn't fly out here. But congratulations on being first, Dangle Matt. One high five for you, my man. And let's say what's up to all the Chenemembas. We got Mike McClune, my man. What up, Chenememba? We got BV Luminous, was poppin' player, another Chenememba. We got testing 1 2 3, another Chenememba. What's up, brother? Jeff Cron, another Chenememba. What's poppin' player? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see who else. Jeff Cron, BB Luminous, testing 1 2 3. West Eli, what's up, brother? Another Chenememba. Good to see you. Flying Rich, look, guys, Flying Rich has joined us this evening. Can you believe that? Wow, he's famous. Flying Rich, another Chenememba. Good to see you. Let's see. 717 Rida, our last winner on the giveaway on Tuesday. Congratulations. Good to see you. Also, another Chenememba. Damn, dark late again. I mean, a little late. I got a few guests, a couple guests in the back. So, what I'm saying? I had to have a little chat first. Gosh, guys, sorry. But you're right, though. I am late. And there's no excuse for that. No excuse. John Crump Live, another Chenememba. Good to see you, my man. Let's see. West Eli, hey, Taco Syndicate, my man, another Chenememba. 80XR920, another Chenememba. Good to see you. I could probably be a what do you call it? Like an auctioneer. And we got King Rider 47 Chenememba. I'm just kidding. I can't do that. Good to see you. Kurt 24. Kurt, how do you go from being first to like number 152? But either way, welcome. I think you're still on vacation. Great to see you, and I hope you're kicking back and drinking a brewski or something, so some type of refreshing island drink. Joe Morris, what's up, brother? Another Chenememba. Good to see you. Not my name. Another Chenememba. What's in your prison wallet? Good to see you. Rusty Shackelford, bro, my man, another Chenememba. This is so great to see all you guys, man. It's awesome. Mike McClune, my man. All right, so let's say what's up to all of our honorable mentions. We got Warsaw Patriot. We've got Robel Rouser, 111. What's up, brother? We got Keith G. What up? Good to see you. Who else we got? Warsaw Pastry, Damian Christ, good to see you. Hey, Armitage, good to see you, bro. Armitage, I need to get you back on too for an update, man. I know you've gone through a lot lately, so yeah, it'd be good to get you on for an update, bro. And I hope you're doing well. Hope your health is well and all that too. Let's see, Damian Christ. Oh, this guy, what's up, bro? Feds, and more feds. Oh, it'll never stop. What happened to Free Men Don't Ask, right? I thought this was the crew, right? Oh, he did something illegal. JC9, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Yeah, you can't have it both ways, bro. Shall not be infringed while you hold up an AR pistol with a brace on it. Flying Rich Firearms, what's up, bro? Good to see. I, of course, would never encourage that anyone break the laws, the laws of your state, your federal government, your local laws, your city ordinance, sanctions. Don't break anything, okay? Don't break bones. Detective Young Keen Bao, great to see you, man. Great to see you. All right, let's go ahead and get it started. Marconi, great to see you, man. Hey, there he is. Too many choices. What up? Good to see you, another Chenememba. Allegedly, Rich crashed the F-35 in the South China Sea. I am so glad that that's how that sentence ended, and it could have been worse. If you guys know how my people get down, yes, that could have been way worse. Great to see you. G23, what up? Hey, man against the masses, another Chenememba. Good to see you. Gort, my man, salute. I changed up the background a little bit. So instead of putting out like 5 straps, I just laid out like 20 9mm guns that I built. Like, why not? You can't really see them, but they're there. They're they're there. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Hey, Rip Curl readiness. What up? Good to see you. Good to see you. As you guys may see, this live stream has been titled, of course, I got to start it with DLD Live, which is weird because when YouTube sends out the notification, when it does, it actually says DLD After Dark is live. And then it goes on to say the title. And then I put DLD Live again. So maybe I'll work on that. Anyway, DLD Live, the counterfeit Glock market, or let me say it differently, the counterfeit Glock market. Do you know what's inside your build? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a little focus on that. And we could not focus on the Glock market without having your boy, first time quality, back at it again.
What's up, man?
MGB, what
I
up?
know, 2 weeks in a row, bro.
I know, this is crazy. And the funny thing is actually on Tuesday, on my stream on Tuesday, I asked everyone, I was like, all right, leave a comment, let me know what you guys want to see. And like 3 or 4 people were like, we want MGB back on. I was like, well,
I'm
shit,
ready.
okay, there you go. And of
Yeah,
course, if we're gonna have DLD and MGB, we gotta have a heckler.
we need Richie.
We need Richie with DLD and MGB. You know, I was gonna go for another acronym, but I said, you know what, Flying Rich is the one. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's gonna be a fun night. MGB, I know you don't have a whole lot of time tonight, but I still want to make sure you get through your stuff. If you would, do a quick introduction of who you are, what you do, and where they can find you.
Well, before we do that, can we recognize you're looking very Miami Vice tonight? You're looking very Crockett right now.
I appreciate
Gotta
that.
say,
I was gonna
gotta
throw
say.
on my my helmet, right? I got a Team Wendy bump with the Wilcox mount, but I was like, I can't match classical with tactical. You know, I can't do that. So I got to keep. Yeah, you gotta switch it up.
Yeah.
So I do have the Galco Miami Classic 2 in brown. Y'all know I usually rock the black one, but I got one in brown, and this is indeed for the Glock style firearms. And I got the OEM. I'm rocking OEM 19. I'm not touching it, with the stainless, with the hard chrome slide done by Ford's Custom Gun Refinishing in Florida. And on that back, I got that DLD blue Chemlight back plate. Shout out to Come Out in PLA that did that for me. So I got 51 rounds on the shoulder rig, and you know, I was just feeling lonely in the waistline. So I was like, you know what? I'm still gonna rock the 21 rounds in my waistband too. I know it's a lot, but thank
You
you.
often feel lonely in the waistband?
You know, every night that I do, I think of you.
Oh God.
Oh, that didn't take long.
I was like, get away, young lady. I'm just kidding.
Head instructor.
Head instructor. Oh man.
All right, what were we gonna do?
We were gonna
who I am.
intro.
I'm MGB, and you can find me here apparently on DLD because I can't publish on my channel once every 4 months. But my strikes are up as of July 13th.
Yes.
So I was able to publish 2 videos all year, right? So I'll be able to publish another one, I guess.
That's exciting.
As soon as you get notified, go watch it, and then I'll see you again in November.
Dude, this is the thing. Okay, so like I know we say all the time, like, yo, the notification squad is like the guys and gals that see it and they're like, boom, I'm on it. They're
Right.
always the ones that were like, oh yeah, I saw that video that was taken down, right? I saw the video that was taken down from DLDs. I saw the video that was taken down from MGB. I saw the video that they took down from Rich. Like, y'all are the ones that see it, right?
Right.
So many people are like, oh, I'll watch it later. Don't do it. Get some AirPods, throw them in at work, put it in your pocket, you know, just let it go, listen to it. But yeah, shout out to the notification squad. Fluffy Bunny Arsenal, what's up, brother? Good to see you.
All right, you ready to jump in?
Yeah. So I'm sorry. So where can they find you?
Here.
And or I heard there was a very fancy place called.
All right. Yes, Freedom Crew University, of course. You want to come take some classes with me? You can come take some classes, and yeah, I mean, I'm there every day. 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day, it seems.
Yes, yes, awesome. And Flying Rich, for the people that may not know you, because believe it or not, every now and then I do get new subscribers. Please let everyone know who you are, what you do, and where they can find you.
So basically, any gun channel that invites a guest to show up, I'm there.
Very
Could be the
true.
Tactical Turkeys, could be Dark Show, could be John Crump Live. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be
No,
cool.
typically, yes, yeah. Typically, I do John Crump Live, 5 o'clock for an hour, Monday to Thursday with John. On the occasional days that he's available to do a show,
Yeah.
and otherwise, I'm on the phone with Dark or working.
Okay, that was a dig because it's John Crump Live, right? And John Crump is rarely there. But hey, you got to give the man respect,
Maybe this is what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I should stop publishing and only do live videos. Well, but no, but you get strikes on lives, right? That's
Oh yeah, yeah.
sometimes.
Well, all right. So in fact, it's harder because like if I held up a gun right now, I mean, Dark Show would be over.
right.
I mean, not necessarily. We've done it a lot,
Well, yeah, we did it after like Donut was holding up firearms. Like if I can't see where I am. I might not be in the safe zone. You gotta take the text away. Like,
Yeah,
right,
you gotta.
right. I mean, it could be an optic. It might be something else. Nobody knows.
Yeah, no one knows except the algorithm apparently. Which if you hold up a slide or a knife, you'll get canned. Usually they just take down your video.
Knife?
Yeah, I've been taken down for a knife. I've been taken down for a slide. I've been taken.
Really?
Get this. So I had homie, he does the CAD development, he does stippling and stuff. Unseen Killer. I had Unseen Killer on here, and we opened up CAD. Okay, this is computer design. Okay, and there was a picture of a frame, and we were doing stippling.
I remember
on the frame.
that stream.
Taken down for handling of firearms. Okay, and then I was like, this is crazy. Must have been a mistake. I brought it back up, taken down again, and then I appealed it, right? And then started another live stream, did it again. I responded, and I was like, dude, this is CAD. Like, what, we had to stop. I think we went on.
Wait. I'm gonna blow your fucking mind right now.
Blow it.
Okay, hold on a second. And you're all gonna start seeing this, I'm sure, because we all watch the same shit, right?
Here's my shank.
I don't know if this is gonna show on the camera, but this is YouTube's ad. It says, if you can't read it, I'll read it for you. But it's a marketing for a DVD on how to build ghost guns.
Oh, I've seen that.
I saw that guy.
Yeah.
I got his like tab open somewhere.
Yeah, right. I've seen. I've been seeing a lot. It's interesting. I've been seeing a lot.
So this guy is a total jackwagon.
Not only can we can't build. We can't even mention those words of those boxes behind you. Or at least I can't. Right. I can't even mention the words, right?
Yeah.
And so, but yet you'll take advertising revenue.
Oh, of course they will.
All right. Well, the rules change so much around here. It's hard to keep up with the fucking times.
The rules change when you pay. That's what it is.
Well, okay. So,
and who do they show that to?
So Kenny, nobody I know knows who that guy is.
Yeah, Fed. Come on.
It's got to be a Fed.
Come on. I told you, Doc, you remember our conversation 2 weeks ago? I said gun broker. I'm telling you, gun broker is the words out of my mouth.
Or Rifle Remedy 2000.
Really?
Ooh.
Right.
Yo, right. Okay. So on this. Oh shit! You just said the site.
Oh, am I supposed to say the site?
Last time you were on, you were like, I won't say the site, but I'll say.
Well, now we know for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead. Bring it up.
That's right. I just said it last week on your show, and I didn't say their name, but now we know for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I mean, we knew for sure already, but now it's obvious.
So here's the deal, guys. During the time that you couldn't sell a frame with a jig, and you couldn't sell it with rails and instructions and drill bits and all this shit, you started seeing these individual gun broker accounts pop up all over the place selling full kits, and people were actually receiving full kits in the mail. Buy a full
Oh
kit.
wait, my favorite was the Glock 18.
Oh, bro,
People, man. I mean, so obvious, right? You know what? They should change from federal law enforcement to fishing instructor.
fishing
Like,
instructor,
seriously,
head fishing instructor.
fucking stupid.
So
Well,
here's the funny thing.
the other
I
good one
actually
was
saw-
when they did an IG post, but they had their location turned.
Oh, that's right.
It's
It
the
was,
ATF building.
yeah, it was it was a 80% auto sear, right? Now that is another thing that they've toggled back and forth on, like, this is legal, this is not legal, right? But ask that one firefighter in was it? I think it was Massachusetts.
New York.
Oh,
New
yeah, I
York.
remember that. He drove somewhere, right?
Yeah,
Somewhere.
he was at Oaks, Pennsylvania.
Oh, not that
yeah,
guy.
that's right.
Not that guy. He actually literally he did nothing illegal. However, once he drove into New York with
Yes.
polymer 80s unfinished frames and receivers, that was his offense, right? Come on.
So make
but this
sure
guy-
if you're driving from Oaks, Pennsylvania, New York with your polymer 80s, you do a couple of crazy Ivans and figure out who's behind you.
Yeah.
So this guy lawfully bought a long gun. He lawfully bought uncompleted, frames and jigs, and then just drove them home, right? He did a 4473 for the shotgun, right? But no, this dude I'm talking about was like a highly decorated, like, sergeant or whatever they got. I don't know what, their captain or a firehouse captain or something like that, right? And the dude had purchased an 80% Glock Sears catalog,
Yeah.
and
No.
it didn't touch it.
So you're not talking one of these. You're talking
No, I'm
something
talking
special.
he bought an 80% Glock auto sear. So an unfinished Glock auto sear. Okay. Now there had been toggling at the time of it's legal, it's not legal, it's legal, it's not legal. It's the ATF, right? So that's what they do.
Right.
So anyway, the dude got a knock on his door, and they were like, "Hey, we have proof that you bought this day, this time, from this computer, this IP address, and this." So he knew. He was like, "Yeah, I did. You can talk to my lawyer." He's like, "You can talk to my lawyer. That's it. You can talk to my lawyer." That's all he said. Contacted his lawyer, right?
Good man.
They kicked in his door. They searched his entire house. They took legal firearms. He got fired from his job. He lost, like, everything, dude. Everything. And he was like, I literally bought it as, like, a conversational piece or like a paperweight. It like, months had gone by and he still hadn't touched it. No machining. He didn't turn it into something functional. Like, the dude just had like 2-3 pieces of metal. That's it. That was his crime.
Of all the nonsense that goes on that they could be doing,
Yeah.
right? This is what they choose to do. This is what they
Yeah,
choose to
so-
spend their time on and money on.
Excellent point.
busy.
Excellent point. Because you know what? They know that they kick in my door, MGB, they kick in your door. Nothing's gonna happen to it. But go to the South frickin' Bronx. Go to Harlem at 4 a.m. or
Right.
North Baltimore.
Right. You're right.
Yeah,
Right.
clean up the streets there. Oh,
Yeah.
frick no.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why would
They don't
wanna do that?
want to serve, high intensity warrants anymore.
No.
They don't. And it's really about cases. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a case is a case is a case is a case, right?
Yeah, when I heard
Well,
that,
that's like
The
They're
incentive.
so Matt
bonusing-
Hoover.
they're bonusing.
The program.
Yeah, there's a
Opening cases.
program. I heard this and I was blown away. MTV actually put me on. They're bonusing federal employees, agents, or whatever they are. They're bonusing them based on the amount of cases, not convictions,
Not good cases, not
good just the amount of cases. Like, what?
I know.
Damian Christ said it beautifully, right?
it's
here.
like how many J6 guys you get? Not enough. Getting some more today.
Oh man, don't even get me started on that shit. What about
So Matt
years-
Hoover's case, the ATF did a victory dance press release saying that this is part of their getting illegal firearms off the streets program. It's like, yeah, none of these.
none of
Show
that.
me one firearm you got off the street with the CRS case. The only firearm that was on the street was made by
in the ATF office.
Yeah, that was it. The ATF
know.
made it because
know.
they consider conversion devices machine guns. I'm sorry, we're getting off track here.
I know.
Let's
know.
get back to what we're focusing on. A lot of us build Glocks. I've built a couple. You know, I have a couple 20 behind me, and MGB and I were having a conversation. If you guys don't know, Marine Gun Builder is like the OG when it comes to the PAT. And just in case you don't know this, there was a time where because YouTube was so crazy about the whole, you know, P80 thing, we we started calling them Mr. Paul Marady, right? And it's like, yeah, you got to talk to my guy Paul
Yeah,
Marady, Paul Marady.
yeah.
Anyway, so we did that. So that we may have to go back to that. But anyway, we were talking about it and talking about Glock parts and whatnot. And MGB started dropping some serious knowledge on me. And most people, this stuff wouldn't even get to a smell test. Let alone they would just install it in their gun and just keep it moving. But as
Right.
you know, if you're practicing FTQ, if you're practicing that first time quality, you're going to have a very intimate relationship with your parts before they become installed in your gun. So as individuals are building, here's some important things to keep in mind. MGB, my man, the floor is yours.
Yeah, man. So look, guys, I mean, the reality is that the Glock counterfeit parts market is enormous and it's out of control, and people are getting beat upside down and backwards. Now, I'm going to explain it before I actually show you. Tonight, I'm going to talk just real quick about trigger housings, okay? But understand it's all lower parts, it's upper parts, it's everything. And so when my particular beef, and like why I did a big blog post called Glock OEM versus knockoffs, but my biggest beef is that a seller saying something is OEM and people are paying OEM premium price, right? Because OEM is premium price because you want good fitment, you want that stuff, right? And so somebody buys and spends the money on a premium kit, and the seller is swapping out a whole expensive part so they don't have to buy those. In other words, they can press them cheaper, right? So that this helps their margin when they sell it, right? So they swap out some of the more expensive parts in the kit and give you some OEM. So it's more of a mixed kit, but never disclose that to you. And this is rampant beyond belief. Okay.
And they're doing it with the most difficult parts to identify as OEM as well.
Correct. So, you know, look, like we have what we call economy kits out there. Okay. So like there's OEM and then there's economy kits. And, you know, like personally, that's up to you, man. You know, you want to save some money and you want to buy an economy kit, as long as the seller is telling you that, hey, this is not Glock OEM, you know, I'm good to go with that, right? Because that is at least they're disclosing that, and then you can make the choice on whether to buy that kit or not.
Yeah.
Okay. My particular beef is when they're selling you OEM as OEM and they're swapping it out with fucking bum ass parts. Yeah. Right. That's the problem.
Because you can get, just really quickly, for all you guys out there, whether you're Glock builders or whether you like to assemble your stuff and kind of make changes to it, right? There are, or a lot of people, this is one thing I found, a lot of people harvest parts off of an OEM Glock and then they get a bunch of other inexpensive parts to build something on the OEM frame, right? So some people have done that. Well, one of the things that you can get a, you know, high value, you know, economy LPK for like $40, right? Sometimes cheaper, but $40, sub 50, definitely, right? OEM lower parts kits go for a buck, a buck 20, you know, easily. Sometimes more, right? It depends what the market determines, but there's a huge difference. You're talking 2 times or more from what the you know, what the
there is
going rates are.
this is enormous, guys. Enormous. Okay. And so what you're saying is, so this is also part of it. People will buy Glocks, strip them down, right? So these sellers will strip them down and sell the parts, right? But they'll replace something like the trigger. And so they'll sell you an OEM parts kit, you know, let's say $99, right? So let's say, you know, they're a dealer, okay, and they bought the Glock firearm, you know, wholesale for $450. Just saying, okay. And so now they strip it down, they take out the lower parts kit and they sell the lower parts kit for 99 bucks. Okay. They've already made almost 25% of their money back just on the lower parts kit, right? We haven't gotten to the slide, upper parts kit, none of that other shit, right?
Yep.
But if they take that trigger and they swap it out with a cheapy, you know, $4 trigger, that's an OEM lookalike, a clone, a counterfeit, and put that into the kit. Now they made the $99 on the kit, and then they can go sell that trigger for 20, 25 bucks and increase that margin 25%. You understand what I mean?
Yep.
And so now they do that with the trigger housing, which, you know, ejectors are very big as well, which I'm going to talk about here. So this is the games that they play, okay? And unsuspecting people, again, if you're paying for it, you should be getting what you're paying for.
Yep.
Right.
The thing that drives me nuts is when I'm looking, I use eBay a lot. I'm a total eBay head when it comes to gun parts. And I mean, thank God we can even, you know, use eBay at this point for gun parts because they've taken all AR-15 stuff off, all AR like handguards. There used to be, you know, all types of AR stuff on there. But anyway, there's still Glock stuff left and right. You can get everything except the frame on eBay. But the thing that drives me nuts is I'll be looking for stuff and I'll be scanning through all these listings, and at a glance, I'll see OEM style.
Right.
OEM style? Hold up. You're taking a $35, $40 lower parts kit and you're putting OEM in all caps and then
Style.
putting style next to
Yeah.
it. Like, dude, don't slow me down like that. Come on.
I got you. So let's actually look at some things, because look, a lot of people will be like, oh, I bought all OEM. Did you?
Yeah.
Or that's
people,
the question.
The people that go on like Reddit and stuff looking for help, and they're like, I got an all OEM lower parts kit, all OEM slide parts kit. Okay. Did you?
Right. Did you? I don't know. All right. So look. So let's grab. So look, probably the big thing here that we always see is people want to take a Gen 3 ejector and put a Gen 3 trigger housing and put a Gen 4 ejector in it, right? I'm sure you all have done it because you watched MGB's ejection video. We created an entire market around that, apparently. And to my surprise, there is an actual huge market of fake shit. Okay. So this is sold out there in the open. Okay. You can just on in Google or eBay and you'll see this for sale. This is a seller saying, hey, you can buy a Gen 4 ejector and a Gen 3 housing, right? So this saves you from buying an extra housing from the Gen 4, taking the ejector out and swapping it into a Gen 3. Right now, the first thing you should probably notice is it's not stamped. Okay. Now, some of the listings will address that and say OEM style, like he just said. But if you've ever changed an ejector, in order to take an ejector out of a housing, you need a screwdriver and a punch or both. Okay. They are in there. Okay. I can do this with my hand and just pull it.
That is crazy.
This is highly unsafe. This right here, this just comes right out.
Let me just say to anyone, if you have ever installed and uninstalled, that right there is impossible to do without tools.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this is like just all loosey-goosey, but you know, they asked 20, 25 bucks for this. Right? Fucking, you put that in your gun, you're asking for problems. You're asking for problems. Okay, but you know what? That's not as bad because you can see clearly it's not OEM. Okay, it's clearly not OEM. But if I show you something like this, 30274 ejector, right? That it comes in a Gen 4 housing. So this is a Gen 4 housing. Again, the Gen 3 housing we know is square at the bottom. The Gen 4 housing is angled down to a point. And if it can focus here, you'll see that this part is stamped 30274. So you're like, awesome. You know, I got myself a Gen 4 ejector, except this bad boy is fake. I'm going to show you a legitimate one with Okay. This is again in a OEM Gen 4. Now you can see the difference in the stamping, right? This one's much bigger, much clearer, goes the length. The metal is different as well. This is obviously Glock metaling with the bluing. This is just a stamped piece that somebody cloned and made and put it in here and selling this, you know, at a huge markup, and it's fake. It's not real.
It's probably literally a 2-cent part when it's not an OEM. Yeah, I mean it's nothing.
Right.
And for the person that let's after you're done, let's hit on getting uninstalling an ejector when you're done.
Uninstalling a ejector?
Yes, someone mentioned they just grab it with pliers and pull it out. You can push it with a punch.
Yeah, so you don't want to grab it from the front like this and yank on it.
That's the functional part.
Right. You can just get a punch and come from the back.
Yeah.
And
just hit it from the back.
So
hit it from the back next time.
Yeah, that's it, baby. So here's another one. Because they're there to just make $1. They're not, you know, they're like, okay, I can do this, I can stamp this myself, and I can make this piece, and I can, you know, just sell it as is. Okay. So I got another one from a seller. This was a guy who was on eBay, and this piece here, Gen 4 ejector. So they look identical, correct? They look identical, except this one is a Gen 5 housing. You see it? Right? So looking at it, so how do you put a Gen 4 ejector in a Gen 5 housing? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't make sense. So, you know, again, these are the games that they play. They're trying to, you know, stamp these parts, mark it up, and then pass them off as OEM. But the problem is that not only are they not OEM, but they're extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
They're not functional, right?
Out of spec. Out of spec. Yeah, that's intense, man. So on that note about removing an ejector, there's I forgot the size. MGB probably has it memorized.
Here's the back of the ejector, just right there.
Yeah,
you take a small flathead screwdriver, right, like an eyeglass screwdriver. Okay, and you can put it right on that metal piece. Let me just come down here so I can see. All right, and you just push through. It'll start to pop out like that. Okay, you see this one's all the bluing. You see that? All right, then you can take a small punch and go back into that hole. I'll just do it on camera like this. Let me find the hole.
Hit it from the back, finding the hole.
Right? And then push it out. You can see how tough it is, right? Look how tough that is, right? Compared to the other one that I pulled out with my fingers.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's out. And then you can put it back in. Now, putting it back in is very, very important because it needs to sit all the way back. There can be no space here at all. So when you put it back in, you gotta go deep.
This is so bad. If you're hitting it from the back, you remove it like this. It's got to be a slow, sensual removal. You can't just yank that thing out of there.
And you don't want to go in dry.
No, never.
Never go in dry. It hurts both parties.
Terrible. That's terrible.
Actually, but for real though, don't put a gang of oil on it either.
So we'll do this one too. All right. So obviously, if you have any questions, just go over to Freedom Crew University. You can go into, we have groups, Glock groups. You can go in the Glock Builders group, and you can, you know, ask questions. You can, you know, if you guys want to do a parts dump, you can do a parts dump and post some pictures, and we'll tell you. But here's the thing: we're only going to be able to fix this in our industry because it's a disgusting practice, and it's big. But we're only going to be able to fix it through education, and if we are able to call people out. And say, look, you know, we're not going to fucking allow you to do this anymore. That's the only way we're going to fix it. Okay. So
if your punches aren't bent, do you even use them? Very good point.
No, never.
Yeah.
They got to be bent.
They gotta have a gentle curve.
Yeah. You know what this one's perfect for? Putting your little slide lock spring in your PF.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. So yeah. So anyway, to put it back in, you just take a housing. Okay. You take the ejector and you slide her back in all the way as far back as you can. That's wrong. It's got to go all the way back and close on this space right here. So you can take your screwdriver and just come right to that front and push it back. Just like that. And then it's seated all the way back and you're good to go.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man. So yeah, you guys get any questions? Again, you know, somebody who got this as an ejector is going to be like, hey, that's good to go. It's stamped, right? 30274. Yup, that's a Gen 4 ejector, and this is fake. This is fake. Okay, this is no good. No good.
You know, it's the same thing whether you're talking about, you know, counterfeit Louis Vuitton, counterfeit Gucci, counterfeit, you know, anything, counterfeit money, right? The reason people make counterfeit shit is because there is a lot of money in it. Now, sometimes they're blatantly, openly counterfeiting, and sometimes they'll even say it's counterfeit, and it'll obviously be sold for less. And sometimes they hit you with the okey doke, right? Like, I knew when I was buying this knife, I knew that it was not a $750 Microtech Halo, right? Like, I knew this was a clone, right? Imagine if I went and I bought a $750 knife and got it home, and I'm like, you touch it, you feel it, you look at it, and you're like, no, the marking is off, it's in a different place, the letters are different, that's not cool. Instead, I bought this from Tack Knives, where if you use code DARK, you save 20% off your order. Just saying.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tack Knives, my guys. Yeah, no, that's intense, man. How are some ways that, you know, people could be vigilant about this, like looking up?
Look, they're getting better at it, right? I mean, they're getting better at it to where they're even stamping things. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, to try to pass it off as OEM again, so they can get the OEM premium price, right?
Yeah.
This is what they're doing. So look, look at you, man. Wow.
There's all your counterfeit.
Yeah. The big thing here, my friends, is that you know, there's a difference between, you know, a Gucci pocketbook or, you know, a pair of shoes or whatever, right? This is a firearm.
Yeah.
And and in the moment of truth, you need to use that, and you have a catastrophic failure, you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, this is the problem with these sellers, is like, to make $10,
they're putting your life
at risk.
Yeah.
For $10 you know. But in their mind, like he said, it is money. He's, you know, he or she, whoever they are, I'm not going to go into that right now, but they sell, you know, 20 or 30 a day. Well, just, you know, like this at a reduced rate, but they're making $10. They're making 300 a day, 2,100 a week. So they don't give a fuck. But again, as time goes on and more people are putting in this weapon, God forbid they're in that moment of truth. You know?
Why would somebody choose to purchase OEM parts?
Fitment, reliability, and more importantly, safety and control measures and protocols that are put in place at the factory. You know, there's a difference between buying something and buying a knockoff when it comes to firearms. Okay. I'm not talking about performance parts. That's something completely different, because those enhance a Glock. Okay. I'm talking about like this shit here. Okay. A Glock has measures in place, test firing protocols, safety measures in place, quality control and inspection of parts. Okay. These companies are not doing that. Okay. They're not doing. So not only do you have poor fitment and poor functionality, but look, what is the number one thing that we have seen since the pandemic? Like, when we first had that huge OEM parts thing, and then all of a sudden the clone market popped up, Okay. And now that we're a couple of years removed, what do we see? Consistent failures of these parts. Consistent failures, right? Well, again, it's because these parts are not tested thoroughly and have no quality control and inspection and safety measures in place like the manufacturer would.
Yep.
Right.
And the manufacturer is the one that undergoes all the scrutiny, right? Like, if, let's say there have been times where somebody drew a Glock or something, right? And then it had to for some type of self-defense situation, and their Glock failed them, and they actually sued Glock
Right.
for, failure of performance or whatever. And I
Right.
don't know exactly what it was, right? But there've been situations like that. Could you imagine if somebody, bought a gun from somebody that bought it from someone else, that bought it from someone else, that built it or
Right.
whatever, right? If you
Dude.
go to court and submit photos of your firearm, and that they're going to be like, yo, that's not even our shit,
Right. And here's the thing. I'm talking about trigger houses. I'm going to do a whole series on this, okay? But trigger bars and triggers
Mm,
and firing pins, sear engagement, the most important thing for drop safety,
yep.
two of the most expensive parts and two of the widely counterfeit fraud parts that are out there, right? So
Yep.
now you're running a fucking counterfeit fraud firing pin married up to a fucking terrible trigger bar knockoff.
Oh,
Right. And they sold it to you as an OEM kit. So they'll give you the OEM springs, they'll give you the OEM pins, right? The shit that doesn't cost much, but
yep.
they'll throw in the bogus fucking firing pin,
Mm,
right? And the bogus trigger bar, right?
yep. I could imagine they're even selling them in the OEM bags with the OEM stickers on it
Oh yeah.
too.
Oh yeah. Well, because they're probably buying things,
Yeah.
I mean, unless you buy them all individually, right from Glock.
Mhm.
But again, that's expensive. That passes it off to the retailer, right? So the big
Yeah.
thing here is that you've got to buy. You can't even buy an OEM kit thinking it's OEM. You've got to buy an OEM kit from somebody who is an OEM dealer.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? That is
Mhm.
reputable, and that and I shouldn't even say, because reputable is like questionable nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's let me see. Have you talked to Matt lately? We'll touch on that in a little bit. Um yeah, I mean that's a pretty terrifying thing to think that you got a trustworthy firearm and, end up being some dog shit parts. That how many strikers, off-brand strikers, right? Or knockoffs or whatever. How many strikers did you see break over the past few years?
Well, the knockoffs, we went through a whole fucking thing where they got called out, and like
Mhm.
right after, like as soon as that pandemic hit, and then we
Mhm.
had that, there was about a 6 to 8 week period where there was nothing on market, and then bang, the clone kit just fucking started coming
Blew
up.
up.
The
Yeah.
tips were breaking, the tips were constantly breaking.
Yeah.
We were seeing post after post about that, and the number one question we had was what? Where'd you buy it?
What kind of parts? Yeah. Yeah. Where'd you
Who'd
get
you
it?
buy it from? Because did they say it was OEM? Because again, if we had economy kits before, okay,
Mhm.
and some of them were an okay solution, but again, you're not running through the other stuff, right? You're
Yeah.
not running through the manufacturers. And I'm not here to preach OEM is God, because that's not true, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's not.
honestly, most
All
of the
right.
shit that I'm running, I do run a lot of OEM stuff, but I'm running shadow system stuff now mostly,
Yeah. I love the performance market, right? So that's different. That's
Yeah.
that's enhancing it, right? But when
Yep.
we get to building, that becomes a problem because of tolerance stacking, right? So,
Yep.
you want to enhance the most important components and not enhance everything, where you've got a firing pin from one place and a spring from another place and a spacer
Yeah.
sleeve is OEM and your spring cups are fucking Mariner spring cups, and then my trigger bar is a fucking Apex, right? And my
Yeah.
trigger shoe is this, and now you're all over the place and you
Yep.
can't
Yep.
understand why your gun's not working.
Mhm. Well,
So
and, the interesting thing, kinda similar to, like, 1911s, I'm about to, I don't currently own a 1911, and I am finally taking the plunge. I'm actually going to purchase a SIG C3 1911. But one of the things with 1911s is, well, let me just say one more thing. The only reason I'm doing that is because I still have a Galco Miami Classic 2 for a 1911. I can't just have that sit here not being used anymore. But the thing with 1911s, it's kind of like if there are feeding issues or live fire issues, not safety issues, just reliability issues. The first thing you do is get a Wilson magazine or a Chip McCormick magazine, or something like that, like a trusted part to see it's more than likely magazine issues than other parts issues. So that's like the first thing you recommend, right? So then people
Yeah.
are showing up all over the place in like Reddit and whatever, and they're saying like, hey, I got this build, it's malfunctioning, or whatever issues they're having, and everyone says go get OEM parts, go get OEM parts. This is a
Right.
really dangerous thing if people are thinking that they're getting OEM parts. And I know obviously we've hit on this, but it's just kind of a scary thing that like the thing that people are recommending to be the solution to the most common problems with building, and then of course reliably after the build, it could be a trap.
Yeah. And think about it. How and I hope you all do pull your build apart and look at some of the things that I'm talking about, right? With the trigger
Yeah,
housing. Because if you upgrade it to a Gen 4, now they haven't done it with a Gen 5, the 19X to 47021 ejector yet. So you're good to go. If you went that route, you're golden. They haven't cloned those as I have seen as of yet.
not
Okay.
yet.
Not
Give
yet.
them some time.
Right. They went after the Gen 4 stuff, okay? The Gen 4 ejector. But if how pissed would you be to find out that you paid that fucking money
Yeah,
and they sent you a fucking bullshit part that they stamped? I mean, you feel fucking violated. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And you
I had
should.
Yeah, I
a
mean it's
You
theft.
should.
Go ahead, Rich.
It's theft. That's the
It
straight out
is.
theft.
Yep.
It's fraud.
Dude, I had hex mags. Oh man, I haven't seen hex mags in a minute. I had a dude that bought a bunch of parts in a trade, exchanged parts in a trade, and he hit me up and he started sending me text messages, and he was like, dude, um, my firing pin broke. His striker broke in his 26. And I was like, send me a picture. It was definitely not, I mean, all the machining marks on it, I mean, it was a terrible quality striker. I was like, "Bro, there is absolutely no way that was an OEM striker. Hands down. I could tell you just by looking at it." And I have never, ever had an OEM striker break. Part of that is also the machining of the slide. It's not just the quality of the striker, it's also the specs of the parts that the striker is functioning in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's bullshit, man. It's
This
absolute bullshit.
this 19 right here, I've had for almost, oh man, 15 years. I got like 10,000 rounds through it. That thing is, and it's still going. And I'm pretty sure it ain't gonna stop anytime soon. So, you know,
Yep.
that's good. I can't wait to see kind of what other stuff. I mean, it will sadden me, but I also can't wait to see what other kind of stuff you're finding that's illegitimate or counterfeit.
Yeah, so look, we've known about this actually for a long time. It's just that it's gotten worse over time, and like we
Yeah.
can't just put out blog posts anymore or like post in groups because over time those threads get buried and
Mhm.
people can, we need to put out actual videos. Like this is what you're looking at. This is what's being told to you. This is what this is what you need to look for,
Yeah.
right? And it just needs to be out there in a series. So like that's what I'm going to work on. Now that these strikes are over, I obviously can't talk about building at all anymore. But I think that educating the community on this is vitally important
Yeah.
because it is rampant, it is theft, it is fraud, and it's wrong. And again, I think the only way we clean it up is for people to check what they bought. If they bought OEM, check what I'm showing you. Do you have that? If yes, good to go. Tell us who you bought it from because I think having a list of good dealers is good as well.
Yep.
Okay. But if you got beat, call them out.
Yep.
Call them out.
Publicly call them out. Yep.
Call them out.
Hell yeah. It's good to see a lot of the OGs from the old MGB community up in here too. You know, like Tech and Ice Cream Dipper and all you guys.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot more.
Lifestyle, baby. This is lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Lifestyle.
So you're saying you can't like say anything. So you couldn't say like, you know, take the frame, you know, put it in a jig and then like, you know, drill the holes first with a Dremel running. What RPM are you running right now?
For the holes, 25,000 to 30,000. You want to be in there. So if you have, you know, if you have a variable speed, like a 2-speed Dremel, that's either low or high, you got to drill on high. But if you have an adjustable, you want to be 25,000 to 30,000.
Gotcha.
And using a DLD jig.
There you go. Another DLD jig. Man, I just had one right here and it's over on my work table now.
Yeah.
But then like you couldn't be like, all right, now you need to remove the tabs. Like you need to use like snippers, or some people like to use a razor blade. Me personally, I like to use a razor blade. I got this 3D printed Cricut Provoke that your boy More Beta Prints made for me. It's got a little razor blade in there. So, you know, taking off the tabs like that. And then, of course, I like to also sand them and then polish them. Use a polishing bit, some a little bit of the gritty compound in there. And then, like, removing the channel, right? Like, speaking of removing channels, YouTube. And then, you know, for me, not everyone likes this, right? What I like to do is also take a razor blade. I've even used everything from a floppy ass X-Acto knife to a razor knife to a hefty or husky blade, whatever. I like to cut, you know, first I cut in straight lines across the channel. And then I go through, sometimes I'll go back and I'll do a few more to make them like smaller lanes. And then I'll start cutting at angles, and these things will start shooting out of there like crazy, little pieces of plastic, right? And then I'll go in and I'll clean it up. I like to try to not use rotary tools if possible. I like to use hand tools wherever I can. Then usually I'll file it down as well. Then go back over with a razor, clean up all the around all the holes, clean up all the what do you call it? I always forget this word. The plastic that bunches up around the holes, flashing, clean up all the flashing and stuff like that.
Burring. Yep.
You know, and then I like to blend the tabs in, right? So, you know, after you polish the polymer, and you can use everything from pledge to mineral oil to whatever you guys choose to do. I want to share this. I got so frustrated that my one of my early Polymer 80s was not fitting in any holsters. I took a rotary tool to my trigger guard, and I made that thing as Glockish as it could possibly be. But of course, I forgot that the pick rail was completely different. So I got a holster for a Glock 21 SF when they first came out with the full pick rail on it. Thing works like a charm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, look, there's no one way to do this. There's hundreds of ways. Okay. But I'm gonna use butt there. I'm gonna use a big butt, or I'll use a fluffy butt for fluffy arsenal. However, okay. When it came to the 76% frame, you had to get back to basics. And the basics of building a polymer gun is simple. You start with hand tools. You cut as much of the material away with hand tools. And the Dremel is only used for finishing work.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest problems that existed before I started making videos is people would like come into the different forums, and they would just going at it with a Dremel, with a sanding drum. Zoom, zoom, zoom. And it's like, no, you don't do that. You cut all as much material away as possible. And then the Dremel is just for cleanup, first time quality work, right? Make it look pristine. But that's also a choice.
Yeah.
you know, you kind of got to use it in there in the channel to get it just right, you know, once you cut all the material away. But for the tabs, you don't. I mean, you can cut them with the razor blade, come with a knife. You can fucking chew them with your teeth like a beaver. You can use fret cutters. It doesn't matter. You just need to
Yeah.
get rid of them.
I cannot tell you though, as far as like the pictures, people send it to me all the time. They're like, "Yo, Dark, I messed this up. What do I do?" Man, I cannot tell you how many even completed builds I've seen where right where the tabs were, you see it's like flat, flat, flat. Then it's like somebody just
Right
got
from the
way too happy.
yeah.
Because you guys out there that are building, you don't realize while you're in the moment, right? While you're going through that material, the tab or whatever. First off, hand tools are simple with things like tabs and channels, but also it's not just the contact of the bit that is removing the material. The amount of heat generated from
Right.
that is incredible. And you can start melting into the frame without even touching below the tabs. It
How
gets
crazy you want to
crazy.
get? You want to fucking do some tabs? We'll do some tabs like this, baby. Right? I
Heyo.
mean, you'll see people go at it with anything, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You just gotta get rid of it. Here's the thing about tabs. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you use, let me get a block.
I think Rich, the last one you did, where I was, talking to you, you took out your pocket knife and went through them, right? And they were like, they basically fell off. Was it you?
No, I use, basically I took a Harbor Freight like nipper and made it a fret cutter,
Okay.
and that's how I always cut my tabs.
Somebody
And
I
then
was
I
talking
may,
to used a pocket
yeah, I
knife.
may grab like the razor knife and then bring them down that last bit. But
Yeah,
I'm ready for Marine Gun Builder to jump through my monitor and strangle me. I don't
But what,
polish my tabs.
I didn't hear what he
That's a
said.
functional thing. That's a
yeah.
like if you're gonna take my slide off and see the tabs are not
Yeah.
perfect like OEM.
It's as long as it works.
You don't
Yeah,
need to have, listen, nobody needs to have my OCDness. Okay. I'm
no,
showing you,
but I appreciate it because you know who I call when I have a question about a Glock.
I know.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So if you cut the tabs, okay, and that's all you do, and you don't do any cleanup work, what you've got to make sure though is that your block, so you have a little step right here on the block. So you see right here, there's a little, before it gets to the rail, there's a step right there. So it's this little step, this little edge right here that actually, if you have too much material there, it's going to hang up on that, but it won't be able to sit all the way down. But it'll look like it is, right? And so some of the times I see people that don't clean it up and they just, if you're using a fret cutter, you're good because that's a flush cutter. But if you're using a round cutter, it's not going to go all the way down. And then it gets hung up on this ridge. And then they're like, okay. So then they go into the other thing, which is I'm going to fix it by leveling my rails. Well, you're not really leveling your rail at that point. It's because you're not seated in the block appropriately to begin with, into the area. So, that's it. As far as your channel is concerned, so I have these little things, if you guys want to use them as practice, I have these, and then you can, practice on it on how you want to do it. But simply put, if you use a fret cutter, is it okay, DLD?
Yeah, that's fine. I was gonna ask if we could talk about the Nada frame, the Bill Buddy, the Nada frame.
Oh, so yeah. Well, look, the answer here is come to class.
Yeah,
Or go download videos and support the university, right?
Let me just.
You could also grab this. This is what we teach students on, right? And you can go to work and practice on this, tear it apart because it's not a real frame. It doesn't matter, right? Go crazy with it, and work out your technique, right? And this is a bridge frame edition, so you build a bridge frame, you're good to go, right? Very, very few people, only the people that have come through the university know how to do a bridge frame.
Okay, so real quick, hang on. I need everyone to notice how much of a big deal this is, and I'm hoping ScrewTube doesn't think the wrong
Why?
thing.
This isn't. This fuck is a
Of
boomerang.
course it's not. They don't know. I mean, imagine some 17-year-old, a blue-haired, crazy seeing this. Oh my
And they think
God.
this is a fucking firearm.
They
Well, they don't know if they're a fucking boy or girl. So you're right. I mean,
Yeah,
who the fuck
exactly.
knows?
Yeah. So this is kind of a big deal that we just dropped here, and maybe a bunch of you guys here don't know about this. This is called the Build Buddy. Now, this was developed by Freedom Crew University, and this was developed, created, and this is all from Freedom Crew University. Everything is done in house. What this is an opportunity for you to see. Obviously, there is a clear contrast of what should be cut and drilled and what should not be cut and drilled. And if you're
Right.
cutting and drilling something black, then you're doing something wrong. But this is you guys possibly your first time seeing the Build Buddy, which is like the way to build a frame without building a frame. And this is
Correct.
also a way that we thought we could possibly maybe even do this on YouTube, but that's not gonna
Yeah.
cut it. But
So
it's
I
a
mean,
big deal.
we sell a single version of it as well.
Yep.
So if you don't want the double, you can have, again, like drilling holes. This gives you eight chances at it, right?
That
Right. Or
boomerang, that Bill Buddy
I mean,
boomerang.
16 really. You got 8 on this side because it's the boomerang, and then you got 8 on the other side, right? As well.
And
So
you could even use it for a little stipple practice too.
we
So,
actually have our own stipple buddy coming out.
yep. I didn't know if you
So
wanted
you'll
to
be
say
able
that.
to,
Nice.
yeah. So you'll be able to practice on the actual, angles of it, right? Like
Yep.
people are practicing on breadboards and fucking Glock cases and shit like that. But you want to practice double undercuts and doing a gas pedal. You really need this, or you want to do HD borders and shit like that.
Yep.
Get all that stuff down. You really need to use a frame. And let's face it, who wants to ruin a frame trying it? So, again, stipple students is what the stipple buddy is for.
Yep.
Yeah.
Armitage, you were talking about Matrix Arms doing the 229 and 226 frames and stuff. Keep an eye out. Not everyone here fell on the Zev OZ9 train, right? And that's cool because I mean they're like $1,700 Glocks, $1,800 Glocks. But I happened to run into a meeting that I was not supposed to be involved in at all in any way. And for some reason, they trusted me. I guess I just look like that guy. And it was Icarus. And for those of you that know, Icarus makes the aluminium frames for the 320s and the 365s, and that's what they're known for because that's all they've done, right? Well, these representatives from Icarus busted out a what do you call it? The manufacturing, plastic manufacturing. I always forget this shit.
Injection molding.
Thank you. They pulled out some samples of injection molded OZ9 Glock frames that they're going to be making with aluminum. They also pulled out some SIG frames that were injection molded, and they're going to be making some aluminum ones. And I thought that was cool. Now, it's also kind of stupid to only make OZ9 Glock frames because that market, you're talking about taking the Glock market and then taking it into a tiny little funnel, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, I'd prefer that
But
for,
yeah, and we all, but and listen, we love polymer. Obviously, the weight reduction is good too, right? But we
Mhm.
actually need some more metal so that we start to help our patriots in California that are stuck under that metal rule, right? Because a whole lot of it comes down to, I think it's one, is it 0.8 ounces in the
Oh, the undetectable
right
firearms.
to be compliant, and so this, having partially metal frames or more metal than the slide, right? So metal into the frame opens up freedom protectors in California to now be able to do that, right? And let's face it, California is the biggest firearms market in the country. You know why? Because it's the most populated place, and these people are suffering under this rule incredibly. So I'm all for companies adding more metal, and if it means we add a little bit more weight, but you can put some freedom in your hands, then so fucking be it. You know what I mean? Like, so be it.
Yeah. The Armsman, they make OZ9, GX4, P365, 320, and I believe they're considering Glock in the near future. Dang, I did not know. That's what's up. They kindly asked me not to say anything about it. The Undetectable Firearm Act, I don't know if there was an aluminum Glock frame that was serialized, or what would they be allowed to, or that wasn't serialized, would that be okay in Cali, or they have to be serialized and on the
Well,
list
they
and
have
all
to be
that?
you'll have to serialize that, I think, before you build it. The point is that they can't get anything now, right? Because you can't get around the metal component. Okay, like that's a big problem. And so, and again, it's always the same story, right? They come up with some stupid rule.
And so, hey, hold on for 1 second.
And again, it's always the same. Yeah, here he goes. Yeah, it's always the same story, right? They what's up, Crump? They come out with a rule or some stupid fucking law.
Mm-hmm.
The geniuses in the firearm market, which there's no fucking shortage of here, say, okay, that's what you're saying we cannot do, right? Because that's essentially what a law does, is it prohibits something, right? It doesn't say, hey, yeah, you can go do this. That's not what a law does. A law says you can't do X, Y, Z. So they come out with some stupid fucking made up shit that you can't do X, Y, Z. The geniuses in the firearm industry say, okay, we can't do that, then we'll just do this. And then they put it out, and then these people come in and be like, oh, you made a fucking loophole, you did this. No.
We abided by your law.
Do that. So we went there, right?
Yeah.
And then they get upset and they're like, okay, well, we got to go write a new thing. And so this is the game that's played. But
yeah, I guess I don't even know. I don't even know what's right or what's wrong.
Trump probably does. So yeah.
Here's the thing. This is why I jumped in. They are trying, like I talked to Rich and Dark. I had a little bit of a heads up before it actually was announced in Congress.
Hold on, a little bit.
Yeah, well, I called there. I was like, hey, they're gonna announce this. We can't announce it until it comes out because of a congressional.
Are you allowed to announce you knew about the announcement?
I can say that. I just can't announce. I couldn't announce it until it was in.
Man,
it doesn't make any sense, does it?
The amount of announcement we had before the announcement was announcing. But okay, so Crump, go ahead.
Okay, here's the thing. They're trying to update and modernize. Well, the Undetectable Firearms Act is about to sunset. So they are trying to go ahead and renew it, but renew it in perpetuity forever, right?
And be commies.
And they're also trying to modernize it. They haven't said what that modernization is, but they're going to pass it, then modernize it.
Oh, whoa. Hell no.
Which is not a cool thing. It's basically going to give the ATF all the power in the world to regulate 3D printing. That's what they're going after.
I think this will, because so we're talking about undetectable firearms, right?
Yeah, which there's none, but it's going to it's probably going to pass the Senate because it has bipartisan support because of some turncoat Republicans, and then the House it's because hidden in the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, so it's not even a sound. It's a rider.
You want the Marines getting their raises, right?
It's an amendment.
You'd be against the Marines getting a raise?
So we can try to stop it in the Senate, but it's probably going to pass the Senate. Luckily, the House passed a different version of the NDAA.
So it has to get reconciled.
It has to get reconciled. So they're going to go to a conference, and then they're going to try to reconcile it. That's where we need to start making noise now. But when it goes to conference, that's when we have to make noise. But we need to make noise now. We need to let everyone know that this is out there, because they're going to use this as some type of bait, and they're going to try to get this passed, because Biden's actually put out a executive order stating that it's like a proclamation, basically, what he put out. It was an executive order, but it was a proclamation, basically, stating that they need to renew it and modernize it as the Senate is doing. So, and we have some people in the House like Brian Fitzpatrick out of Pennsylvania, who's a Republican, who's all for renewing it and modernizing it to attack 3D printing. So it's going to take a bunch of us to get together, and that's the only reason I jumped in, because I thought this was very, very important for everyone to know.
We think you're important,
especially for this community. And I see you got a lot of 3D printers out there, and I see you got a lot of like builders out there. For that community, this is going to be huge, because he knows what they're going to do. They might actually attack, polymer 80s and stuff in there. We don't know.
Yeah, I could see them obviously going after printing, right? And I could see them definitely going after polymer 80s. They'll use it as any tool that they can. Now, I know we had talked about we weren't sure at one point if it was the undetectable firearms or if it was untraceable.
Yeah, my Senate contact. I'm not going to say who my Senate contact is. I can say my Senate contact gave me the wrong name.
I wouldn't say any Senate. Okay. So
there's some people in the Senate. There's senators, there's reps, there's aides, there's.
What happened was there was a Girl Scout outside selling cookies. The Girl Scout was selling Girl Scout cookies. She overheard it. She tracked down John Crump, contacted him, he or she.
I'm not saying my contact. I'm not saying anything that I can't say. I can say I had a Senate contact to let me know beforehand, and I can say that. I couldn't say it before it broke because reasons. This freaking Senate, whatever.
So here's the thing I would say, and MGB, I know our 25 minutes has turned into an hour, so I apologize about that. If you got to run,
I'm sorry, MGB.
Oh man, listen. I think this is one of the most important issues that we're facing, because we're going to run into the broad spectrum again. Because if you go after 3D printing, well, what are you going after? A fully 3D printed firearm? Like, at what stage is it now a firearm? Is it as soon as you hit print? Is it the CAD design itself? Like, we're going to get into all this nonsense again.
Gator thing is a firearm,
right?
Melt it down,
right. So we get back into this broad. We're going to go after everybody stuff again.
A bunch of these though.
Yeah, so that's kind of one of the things. The reason I wanted to touch on this was that, like, obviously it could very well impact 3D printing. It could impact polymer 80s. It could impact machined. I mean, who knows? Like AR lowers. Who knows what direction it's going to go? Right? They don't even know. But at what stage, would it be an issue? Right? And somebody said, like, they're going to outlaw 3D printing. Good luck with that. Well, it's not really the issue of, like, whatever, the people that are, drilling the third hole in the basement by themselves, like, they're not having a positive impact on freedom, liberty, and independence, right? So, or the fight, the cause, or whatever you want to call it. So they're not having a positive impact by doing something illegal, by sliding a stock on their AR pistol in the privacy of their own home silently. They're not doing anything, right? So what would happen is, let's say you're allowed to get a 3D printer. Let's say you're allowed to have an STL file. Let's say you're allowed to have G code of a gun or whatever, right? But the moment that the 3D printer is done, right, and you have a completed frame, let's say that's illegal. Well, most people are going to say, well, who cares? People are still going to do it. They are still going to do it. But now you're not free to go to the range with that, to carry it, to go to do whatever you want to do with it, right? So yeah, people can stay home and still do illegal shit and, hit the giggle switch and not say anything, but that is not positively impacting the movement or the cause, whatever you want to call it.
Well, the community would die because you wouldn't be able to talk about it anymore.
Exactly. Right. The communication is done.
You wouldn't be able to share files. You'd be incriminating yourself.
Yep. Odyssey would be
exactly what I'm worried about. And that's
we wouldn't be able to teach it anymore.
Yep. Yeah.
You would have to just, stop it altogether because you'd be putting too many people at risk, or, in general. But, John just brought up something else, like that executive order he put out today also, not to switch topics here, but what jumped out at me was the redefinition of who needs an FFL. Who's in the business of firearms.
That's a big one.
Well, look, I mean, I let my 03, my Curios and Relics one expire because why? Why do people not want an FFL anymore? People
Because
they don't want inspection.
Right.
Dude, I don't want to have an FFL because they would be at my door every freaking day.
Correct. Right. They don't trust you anymore.
They would never harass
We don't trust you anymore.
What are you talking about?
Revoke people's FFLs and try to put them out of business for suing them. Morehouse, for example, they would never do that to Morehouse or Cargill. They would never do that to Michael.
Yeah, they. You know what I say FFL stands for, right? Fucked for life.
Yeah. Again, it's part of the plan to make it hard for people to be in the business of firearms, period. Right. It's tough there. And it's the games, right? It's the games. It's my thing about gunsmithing. It's that exact thing. It is like they say, building firearms is a joke and it's a fucking Lego set. And, some asshole can, we can take them off the street, has never built a Glock, has no knowledge of Glock and can do it in 21 fucking minutes.
And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Right. But they say that can happen and to minimize what we do. Okay. To minimize the gunsmithing aspect of it. But at the same point, what is a gunsmith? Well, a gunsmith, according to them, is you pay them money and fill out a form. And that's it. You pass the background, you send them a check, and they make you a licensed gunsmith. You could have never held a firearm in your life or have any safety training or know anything about gunsmithing, but they will make you an FFL gunsmith.
Well, these are the same geniuses that point an open bolt machine gun at their crotch. I don't know if you saw that picture that I posted.
Make sure to rock the slide back to keep it safe. No, not on an open bolt machine gun.
No, I saw that. I saw that. I was like, I went to Twitter and in Houston ATF posted a picture of the guys loading ammunition, standing in front of an open bolt machine gun with the barrel pointed at his crotch.
Dude, these guys, they don't know firearms, right?
And they were there to demonstrate firearms and firearm safety to U.S. attorneys.
Just like that SWAT officer, I forgot where he was. I think it was in Texas. The SWAT officer that was talking about firearm safety.
I'm the only one that
firearm violence, and he was like, "I am the only one that is safe enough." And boom, and discharged a 40 caliber round. Yes, 40 into his leg. That was years ago too. Like it doesn't matter how many classes you've gone to. If you're a police officer, if you're a civilian, dude, a lot of these times when we're out at classes and stuff like that, and we're running, long guns and handguns and in full kit and stuff, we're learning that we train more than law enforcement does.
Oh yeah.
We saw it this week in the video that's been all over Twitter of the female officer with the tattoos on her arm that took down the guy coming at her. Did you guys see this video yet?
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I mean, it was, he was coming at her, but, she was double thumbed wrapped over, all fucked up, missed him a few times at very close range, and then finally hit him, but I mean, pretty close, like within, 10, 15 feet, was missing him. So,
dang.
But, very poor. But again, this is a law enforcement officer, right?
Yeah.
Shots going past the guy to the house, probably people in the house, it's like, man, fucking terrible.
Dude, every shot that doesn't connect keeps going. Even the shots that do, they don't always stop inside and transfer that energy, right? Some just zip right through, especially Spear Gold Dot. I don't know if y'all know that.
I can't say I'm that long. I haven't talked to MGB since he's been back.
Yeah,
that's right. MGB is
I'm gonna have another fight.
Only here for 20 minutes.
I appreciate it.
Okay, but I just want to say when you took your break, and I put out that announcement for you, there was this huge conspiracy theory that since I went on your show before you took your break, I was some type of agent.
Oh yeah.
You.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is that?
He also agreed to go on DLD that show too. So DLD confirmed Fed.
Yeah, so I was confirmed Fed because you took your break after I did your live streaming.
Yeah.
What the hell? I just thought
everything makes you Fed nowadays.
It does, unfortunately, but the reality is that the government isn't in the business of teaching people to build firearms. So
no,
that's true.
We're all safe. Okay. People have been calling me a Fed for years too. So, it's like, okay, yeah, sure. We
dude,
we help hundreds of thousands of people gain knowledge. Sure.
If there were any 3 people in the world that know me well enough to know the truth and would absolutely out me if they found out I was a Fed, it is these 3 fucking people right here. And let's just say
the sad part is that we even have to do it because it's so the fishing expeditions is so wide, and again, it's so much time, money, and resources put into shutting down people just freely exercising a right.
Yeah.
That's who you're going after. These are people exercising a right.
Yeah.
And that's it. When you actually have firearms being trafficked illegally and you ignore that, you put your time and money here.
You know what the funny thing is?
What's that?
I am a Fed.
You technically you are a Fed.
Yes.
You do work for the federal government.
I don't work for the federal government.
I mean, you work for a federal organization, don't you?
I don't work for a federal. I work.
Okay,
for
you work for a company that's contracted by a company that's contracted by the federal government.
I work for a company that's contracted by the federal government. Yes.
There you go. See, he said you got to put a 1 in the chat if you're a Fed. Channel rules. Oh, we already got some ones. There we go. Yeah, so this is where the whole glowy thing came from, right? First off, I just, oh man, this is so much. Okay, so before we get into the blue chem light thing, I know Crump, you said you can't stay forever, and MGB, you've already well exceeded your time here. You want to stick around for a bit, or you got to hit the road?
He's just listening. He's chilling.
Crump or MGB, you guys gonna hit the road, or you good? Okay, cool. Now. Crump is just, he's reading a book or something.
No, I'm not reading a book. I got some stories that I'm working on. I got like some stories.
Nice.
You can't be doing that. You got to be getting ready for your vacation.
I know. I got 4 stories to write before I leave on my vacation.
It takes 1 to know 1.
Okay. You want me to give you a story?
Yes. Sure.
You guys are gonna love this. This is great. Okay, you know how Daniel Defense got sued after Uvalde, right?
Oh shit.
Yes.
They never got served. The lawyers never attempted to serve them. So that's a big no-no. So the judge said, you haven't served them, you're gonna get sanctioned. Right?
What? Like Russia?
Okay, it gets better. So their sanction hearing was on the 18th, on Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't show up.
Hold on, who didn't show up?
The lawyers for the people suing, which it's a sanction hearing. They don't have a choice. That is a legal matter.
Oh shit! Damn it! Sorry. Go ahead.
All right. So now,
mother of pearl.
This is great. Now on August 1st, the judge is holding a contempt hearing
on the lawyers for not showing
up. So they're probably going to end up in jail. So they sent a letter.
Why didn't they show up? I mean, that's
apologizing and saying, because they didn't think they were going to be held on a contempt. So we were at another case and we couldn't make it. We're sorry.
Prove it.
Yeah. So,
but
if you were on another case, you call the law clerk for that judge and say, "Hey, we need to reschedule."
That judge is pissed.
And what you're saying is they didn't tell the judge about the other case until the day of.
Well, they're making it up
after they got okay.
Right, until it was too late.
This is what I think happened. They sued. They were suing Daniel Defense.
They were hoping they were just going to fork over money.
No. They never served Daniel Defense. They never even attempted to collect. What happened when they sued Daniel Defense? They get put in this big bucket, and a judge gets picked at random.
Kurt, thank you. I'm using your multi-tool that I was going to send out
at random. They got a extremely pro-gun Trump-appointed judge.
Wow.
So I think they were just like, F it, we're not going to win this.
Right.
It was the worst judge they can get, so they just never served
But
it.
who are they representing though? Because that person's obviously paying them.
Oh,
Damn.
So
I'm hoping these families didn't pay these attorneys.
Well, they're gonna get
every time a man
incompetence,
action,
too.
all they pay.
Wow.
Or they were doing it for publicity, one of the two. But they never served them, which is they never attempted to serve Daniel Defense.
They're either doing it for money, or they're doing it for future money, or they're doing it for publicity for future money.
Well, now they're going to need money to bail themselves out of jail because this judge is not playing around. And I think that they will get probably 30 days in.
Nice.
Wow.
So they're screwed.
Hey, John Old Crump Jr. I still have this, man.
I still have your vest.
Oh, that's right. Can I put this towards the vest too?
I already have one. I bought one because I couldn't get it from you.
Oh, that's right. I only live like 30 minutes
2
from
blocks
you,
away.
Yeah. I couldn't get that from you. I couldn't get some recordings.
You told me I couldn't ride a scooter to your
house.
I wasn't at home when you were riding the scooter through my neighborhood.
That's true. That counts. Okay, so for some of the people that may or may not know this, there was a time when I used to. Nowadays, you see, we do a live stream. There's 50, 60, 70, 80, sometimes even 100 people in the stream, right? It used to be that if I ever hit 50 people in a live stream, I would crack a blue Kim light, right? And I would, like put it on paracord, put it around my neck or whatever, because that was a huge deal to get 50 people in there. And then I would do a dark rant, right? Whatever the rant of the day was. And it kind of became like a thing, right? It kind of like lore of the channel. And then the blue Kim light was kind of a thing because we were like, all right, if like we were so close to what felt like the Boog Civil War, right? Whatever you want to call it, right? Like an all-out kinetic event. And we were all talking. We were like, man, like we need to get something on our kit to where if you turn the corner and see some dudes, you don't just open up fire on somebody that could be fellow dilders, right? DLDers, And I was like, well, let's put Kim lights on our kit, right? Of course, we're not an actual organized faction. Okay, so let me just say that. So for anyone out there listening that has bad intentions with all of us, this is a joke. Okay, this is satire. This is a terrible attempt at a comedy. And I was like, let's just put Kim lights on our kit so that way we can identify each other out in the field during full Boog mode, right? So then we're like, well, everyone has Kim lights, right? Everyone uses, what color Kim lights do you usually see? Yellow,
green, amber.
Green, red, IR, right? Orange, but you never see blue, but they exist. Okay, they're all over. You can get Ameriglow blue Kim lights. I'm looking at a case or big box of them over there. You can get all sorts of. You can get glow sticks that are blue, right? So I was like, all right, here's the deal, because no one uses blue Kim lights. Crack a blue Kim light, shove it in your molly, and go to work. That way, if you hit the corner and you see some people and you're like, skirt, let me stop, I won't blast you away because you're wearing a blue Kim light. Okay, so that's kind of where that thing came from. And also because it's a Kim light, a glow stick, for people that don't know Kim lights, right? It glows. And because it's the internet, we're all glowies. We're all feds. Just assume that everyone is a fed. That was the thing. And yes, I do the PWEDC patches. There's only like 11 of those left in the world, and they'll never be duplicated. And they're actually for sale at DLD Hardware. And also, I have for people that don't know, that stands for Prison Wallet Everyday Carry. And yes, your beehole. Now, don't put guns in your beehole. It's a bad thing to do.
What do you think I did with all those? That's where they all went.
In your beehole?
Yeah.
I figured. Those are big beehole guns, man.
Dude,
That's not like
I like stacks of them in my Delaware gun room.
Your Delaware beehole?
Yeah. My Delaware gun room. That's where they're all stacked up. But they're 22s. I mean, like 6-shooters. So
yeah, but they're still large frame
firearms. That's true. You know? No, but I didn't want to keep them all here because I didn't want to have like 30 of those here. So
yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Move them to Delaware.
And then I think that was kind of my thing. And then also the DLD patch with the blue chem light that will never be recreated again. And I think I only personally have 2, and that's it. 1 on my med pack, 1 on my helmet, and that's it. I may have 1 on my patch wall, but so I personally, the DLD guy only has 2, maybe 3 DLD patches. Both of them glow.
I think I got 2.
Yeah, I think I gave you 2. I brought some to Oaks a while back.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, on like the 5th, do you want to go out with Jared Dark?
Yeah, I'm down. Where are we talking about?
Yeah, and Braden and all those guys.
Where are we talking about? At the XCal event?
Yeah, somewhere. We'll go somewhere.
Yeah, I'm down. Also, if you go to DLD Hardware and you do order a PWEDC patch, it's stupid to pay $10 for a patch and then have to pay $8 for shipping. So for the next 24 hours or so, or let's say 2 days, because people still watch this for 2 days. Let's say this. I'll say if you use code PWEDC, you can get free shipping on just the patches. I'm not going to give you. I'll put it as a code for free shipping, but don't go ham and go crazy and start buying buy a bunch of shit. Please feel free to, but that actually costs me money to ship that shit, right? I can ship a patch like nothing. So use code PWEDC 10, and then that way your total is only $10. Come on, PLA. We were talking about you, bro. We were talking about the glowy backplate on my Glock too.
The FFOA patches, they're gone. They're sold out.
I got 1 of those.
Yeah, I got a bunch of these.
How many left?
I don't know. I got them over there. You're supposed to pick them up.
Damn, I've been there twice.
But you never took them. You left them here both times.
Damn, you just got them sitting there. I didn't see them on your desk there. I feel like
they're in a big freaking box. They're sitting there waiting for you.
Right, all right, let's do this then. I'll come tomorrow. Hold on. Is my Polymer 80 order coming tomorrow? No, Friday. I'll come by tomorrow. I'll pick up the Yama, and then I'll pick up the patches, and then your check will be in the mail.
Along with mine.
Along with Rich's. Yeah, Rich's check is in the mail too. Hey, Christy, good to see you. Come on, PLA, good to see you.
Yeah, Christy and Dick Heller is going to be at XCal.
2 of 2.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Yeah, Marine Gun Builder. Are you going to come to XCal?
I am not, but I'm kind of jealous that everybody's got patches and I don't have any.
Bro,
what? No MGB patch?
Oh no, you know what?
Patches. I'll send you a whole package of patches.
I only sent you stickers, didn't I?
You didn't send me anything. You just sent me the jig.
What? I thought there were stickers in there.
No, there was a note.
Hold on. What was the note inside an envelope?
No, it was just in the
Bro, I made a sticker pack for you. It had a bunch of. Did I not include that? What the fuck?
Oh,
you sure you didn't accidentally throw something away?
I promise you it would go on my sticker wall.
You know,
dark as dick.
I'm gonna send you a DLD patch. I am also gonna send you a Flying Rich patch and a I don't know if you can see it, but the best patch of all. It's a patch of this, except it's a lot bigger.
Beauteous.
To the Beauteous Maximus. To the first person that can, let MGB know what DLD stands for.
I know what DLD stands for.
Not some stupid dark likes dick joke.
No, I know what it actually stands for.
Okay, then give the class time to answer too.
Oh, my battery's gonna die. I gotta go plug in.
MGB, do you know what it stands for?
I don't.
Really?
Can I
That's
give you? Can I give
interesting.
you one? Can I give you one of the D's? Discussions.
Okay.
Actually, no. It's
Did you change it?
it is so.
Well, the OG.
The OG was Dark Light Dugan when Dugan and Light were here,
Then it was
and then
Dark Light Discussions.
then it was Dark and Light, and we were just simply discussing things. So then it was Dark Light Discussions. But then after that, when I took on the channel solo, it was Jeff Cron, Dark Light Dugan. Good job, Dark Love Stick. Oh, this is great. I knew you guys were going to come out with some bazingas. It's Destructive Liberty Device. Hey, 717.
Dude, I remember that night where
Dark's little deck.
Of course, he got it. This battery's gonna
thing.
die on me though. Okay, hold on a second.
All right.
Damn, Toy Town nailed it early.
While MGB is plugging in his phone, I remember when Rich, who was it? It was Rich and I over here, and you were here too. It was all three of us, and CRS was texting us saying, you know, we're screwing with Light.
Oh my god.
He's like, play the commercial. Play the commercial.
Every time he talked, it was like basically like this, you know, he would start talking and be like, you know, and it would just come back to his face like, and we would all be dying laughing. Okay. He's like, all right, guys, real. And then come back and we'd be dying. Like I was literally in full blown tears. You know what? We need to make a snippet.
I was at your house when.
Yeah, it was
that was going on.
We were all in person and he was virtual, which makes it 10 times worse because we're all together, right? So we're ganging up on him.
And Sierra. It was exactly like that. But Sierra was texting us saying, do it again. Do it again.
Yeah, that was so, man. It's so bad and sad when you're having fun at someone's expense, but good God, there's nothing more hilarious than that moment.
It was like, very funny, guys. Some people get at the very bingo.
Crayons snack for MGB when he returns.
Hey man, hey, they make a crayon flavored drink now.
Bro, I've seen
Marines?
some pretty crazy stuff. What did I see? Oh, you know what I found? Okay, so I got to show you guys this. Okay, so I'll make sure he sees that. Cliff Light beer runs to the 7-Eleven, kept me coming back, no lie. Excuse me. So I'll Cliff and the Mike's Hard Lemonade. You guys remember? Man, that's crazy. Okay, so I always like to kind of carry around things that have a little bit of value to them, right? Like nothing crazy. Like some people carry a Rolex, so if they're out of country, they can trade for a car or something like that if they need to, you know, hit the road or disappear. But I always like to kind of carry something that's like a little bit of value, but not just cash, right? So I found this thing and I thought this thing was pretty dope. So check this out. I would prefer it to be gold, but it's not. So this is in a credit card size little one of those. What's it called, Rich?
Sleeve.
Oh, a Tyvek sleeve.
Tyvek sleeve, yeah. So it's like a little bit thicker. It's not just like paper, but it'll probably be destroyed after a while. It is the size of a credit card, right? But it is a solid troy ounce of silver, right? And then it's got a little silver certificate. You know, it says it's a solid troy ounce of silver, and it just pops in your wallet, or you can, you know, put it somewhere too. But it's just a cool little thing. I mean, obviously, silver is currently priced at like $30. Usually, the most I see stuff like it's more like you know.
Well, we had a billionaire on. He said he thought silver was going to go up.
So it has gone up a little bit. Then it kind of came down.
Yeah, but he thinks it's going to explode, and he's a billionaire, so he probably should know.
Hey, I got over a pound of silver just chilling, and
Kevin.
you know, I'm gonna keep collecting. Now it's all I'm not a big like silver or like precious metals collector. Like I don't, you know, I don't think like when I'm thinking of something for preparation, I think that like gold and silver, like you can't eat gold and silver, right? If people are literally dying of hunger and starvation and dying of thirst, the likelihood of them, wanting my silver like that, no, they need
ammo, booze.
yeah,
Yeah.
food,
Hookers.
water, food, vagina, penis, those things like that. No, but firearms, right? Firearms, even for hunting, right? If you got to, you can hunt with a Glock, right? I could hit a silhouette at 100 yards, like with a 17, no problem. But I do think it's a good thing to have if civilization is intact, right? So that's why having something like this, having a little silver card in your wallet is like a good little thing that you could barter or trade with if needed. But all of my silver, I got like a little over a pound of silver. Technically, it's over a pound, but it's like a Troy pound. Um, the thing about the silver that I've got, I originally started not collecting the silver stuff for like, oh yeah, lead, brass, copper. Yeah, that's where it's at. That's where the real precious metals are.
Catalytic converters.
Yeah, I got way more money into the precious metals of brass, copper, lead, and dry powder than I do in silver. But it started by me buying like cool gun silver things. Like I bought a 308 bullet that's pure silver. It's a 2-ounce bullet in silver, and it was a good price based on that. But the first thing, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the first piece of silver that I got was the John Wick coin
I want
in
that.
pure silver, and then I got a John Wick bar that's pure silver as well. They're both just 1 ounce, but
I'm gonna get a gold coin, John Wick.
so that's like this. I haven't seen a pure gold John Wick bar, which is funny because that's what they actually use in the movie. But that's over $2,000. That if this was gold, this would be worth 23 to $2,500. That's where it's at right there.
Well, this here is only $40 on blackswanprints.com.
At dldhardware.com. I'm just kidding. At
No,
Black Swan Prints.
Yeah, it's a Etsy store. But no, yeah, the whole entire metal thing is fascinating. My dad used to, well, when he was alive, he had a bunch of like silver coins from like the 1700s and early 1800s.
Dang.
Yeah.
1700s?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
A bunch of them.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
The term the term shilling, right? Like people say, oh, you're shilling for Olight or you're shilling for whatever, right?
Shillings.
Yeah. Can you all guess where that came from?
The Bible.
Money, Bible. Yeah. It's from what I understand, you take the king's shilling, right? And if you accept, so the king would, do an announcement for all the people in the empire, the village, whatever you want to call it. And for the people, his influencers, if those people took the king's shilling, then he would continue, the person that took the shilling would take the king's shilling and continue going around spreading the king's message, right? You'd be the this is like the medieval influencers, right? So they would literally run around town.
Oh my God, they're social media influencers.
Yeah, they were social village influencers. And they would take the king's shilling, and with that shilling, they would commit to taking that message and going around, the town, the village, or the whatever, and they would, be giving whatever message that right, because the perception of the royalty by the general public was so important that they had to control messaging. I wonder if they still do things like that today.
Well, back in those days, instead of going like this for the selfie, they would, hold up an easel and a paintbrush.
Yeah, right. That was a good one, Crump. I'm just kidding. All right, so MGB, what could we expect for the next counterfeit Glock pots?
Yeah, so we're going to publish some videos. We're going to go through a whole series on it, really, because there's so much to talk about, right? There's, again, upper parts, lower parts, barrels, we got tons of stuff to talk
How
about.
how many parts are on a Glock?
So you have 12 on the bottom, okay, but polymer 80, you got the extra pin. I can actually share some good stuff with you if you want.
Just curious. There's a little bit of a debate there. I didn't know, know what.
Well, you have 4 parts in your trigger group, right? You have your trigger housing, you have your trigger bar with shoe, you have your spring, and you have your connector. Okay, then you have your slide lock and slide spring. You have your mag spring and mag button, and then you have your 3 pins on a Glock plus the slide stop. And then for a polymer 80, you have the extra pin up front plus their block and rail. So if you want to count those as extra parts in a polymer 80, and if you want to count the block itself in a Glock frame, that would be a separate part as well. But their rear rail is molded in.
There's like a camp that is. Oh no, is this an email from YouTube? Woo! Oh, somebody ordered a PWEDC patch. Hell yeah. Dr. Dark. So some people say an OEM Glock, looking at every single part, some people say that there, I think it was 31 and 33. Now that's for everything though, right? And I don't know. I think that's including the sights too. But
yeah, well, you would have to include the sight. So that's a separate part number from Glock, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going off of part numbers, but then you go off of part numbers, you have something like this, which is a 30275, right? But that's a trigger housing plus ejector, but the ejector is 30274. But you can't order the ejector by itself without the housing. So it's actually 2 separate physical parts, but it would come from Glock as one part packaged and already installed.
Interesting. I haven't purchased it just like a housing with the ejector. I guess I've always got them as kits. I've come across parts here and there, but they've already been in someone else's someone else's hands. Well, today is opposite day. So I was curious because some people count, like, before you install the trigger shoe on the trigger bar, that that is 4 parts.
Correct, right.
So I think a lot of people
but you can't buy them. You would get a whole, in other words, Glock isn't going to send you the shoe. So if you're an armorer and let's say you work in a department or something and you need the shoe broke, okay, they're going to send you the whole trigger bar. They're not going to send you just the shoe. So the part number is the trigger bar with shoe. You see what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah.
But we go aftermarket all the time on a shoe like that and change that. But that would be like one part. SIG does the same thing, right? So like the SIG firing pin, it comes as a part. Even though it's got all the different components in there, it's one part.
That's true. Yeah. I'm trying to find this thing for you. When you stepped away for a second, Christy typed something, and I thought it was funny. I thought you would also find it funny. She put a bunch of crayon emojis and then said, a snack for when MGB returns.
Can I show you something hysterical too?
Yeah, please.
All right. So you guys know Rook Tactical, right, Pete?
Yep.
So anyway, he flew up here. He's going on vacation. And while he was up here on vacation, I met with him, and I'll show you what he brought me.
Oh, God. Oy vey. Yo, throw the patch in an envelope with a stamp. Good idea. Yeah, that's what I typically do when I ship out patches. That's why I do the free shipping, because I don't have to pay the $8 for USPS shipping. I mean, there's some issues with that, right? But it's a win for everyone.
Major love.
Dang. Oh, is that one of those piggy banks? Is that one of those piggy banks?
No, it's an actual fucking crayon. It's just
What?
enormous.
How can
What
it
is it,
be
your
a crayon
favorite
if you
flavor?
haven't opened it up and tried it yet? And tried
Well,
to eat
I
it?
told him I would use it as a prop in some of my videos, but
At nighttime when you
Yes.
wake up and you see that, do you ever feel the urge to go over there and take a bite out of it?
Take a bite. Yeah.
it does look delicious, doesn't it?
Like Joe
It
Biden, a little
does.
child.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
You know, Rich, the fact that you would even say something like that, like that you would say somebody like our fearless leader would do such a thing, like sniffing a young girl is wrong, okay? And I
Mhm.
don't ever want to hear you.
Yep. Sorry, man.
Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you heard that?
Yeah.
How creepy is that? She's like, "Oh, I'm recording."
I love the Secret Service guy in the back. Like, oh, what the fuck?
Oh, there's
Like,
another.
I gotta watch
Like,
this
what the
guy.
He's like, "Again? Really?"
I know it's
Sniffing
Secret
the
Service agent.
kid again?
Dude, it's so sad. I mean, dude, the funny thing is that like his nose was so close to the mic that it was like I mean, it's crystal clear.
Dude.
Yeah. Let me whisper some in your ear. Oh. Don't tell mommy what I told you. Okay, let me just say this. Okay. If oh my, if you went up to someone in public, or if you, okay, let's say it like this, because I'm thinking of like ways. I heard this comedian say, you know, he was walking through the mall with his nephew. His nephew's like 9 years old, right? And this beautiful woman walked up to him, and she was like, "Oh my God, is that your son?" He was like, "No, it's actually my nephew." And she knelt down and she was like, "Oh my goodness, well, you were just a little lady killer. When you grow up, when you turn 18, I'm going to be coming back for you." And like, you know, kissed him on the cheek and walked away, right?
That would be really creepy if it was a guy.
That's what he said. He was like, "Could you imagine if a man walked up?"
I'm gonna go up to like a little 9-year-old, or somebody will go up with a little 9-year-old, be like, "When you grow up, I'm coming for you when you're 18.
I'm
You'd
coming
be
back when you're
in
18.
prison."
Yeah, you would go to jail, right? Like
You'd be
that
handcuffed.
type of shit, like that shit doesn't fly. So why?
Samson will walk out and go,
Yeah,
"You
right.
have a seat over there. Please
Have a
sit
seat
down."
over there, please. Like, oh, smells like Teen Spirit. Oh my goodness.
Do you know what? Do you know what the title "Smells Like Teen Spirit" is about?
I mean,
The title?
isn't it just like about teen vagina?
Deodorant. There was deodorant
Deodorant.
named Spirit.
It's deodorant. Somebody like Kurt Cobain's
That's right.
ex-girlfriend's friend said, "Oh, Kurt smells like Teen Spirit," and he thought it sounded really cool, and he didn't realize that they were saying that he smelled like deodorant. So he named the song that, and then it wasn't until after the song came out then they finally said, "You know, we were saying that you smelled like deodorant."
Well, I guess when you're contemplating eating the muzzle of a shotgun, you don't have time to do a lot of research.
True.
I mean,
That is dark, and that's why we call you dark.
but so my thing here is if the president of the United States is walking up to people, no, not people, I'm sorry, young teenage girls and younger, right? We've seen 10-year-olds, we've seen there is no limits. He is a no
showered with
limits
his
soldier.
daughter.
I know. But I'm saying, even if the public didn't know that, because there's a lot of people that information is not getting to, right? So let's say if a 15-year-old girl was pulled up on stage at a Blink 182 concert, right? And then one of the guys from Blink 182 like grabbed the chick and smelled her and was like, "Don't tell mommy." What do you think would happen to him?
Me too.
Yeah, right. Like that. It like, and obviously Blink 182 is. I'm trying to use people that don't have enough money to come after me, right?
Blink 182, dude.
They're still touring, right?
They're very rich, man, especially the drummer.
Dang. Lower
that's
pot
nice.
skin.
So I'm sorry, I didn't know it was going to take over the screen when I was just uploading because you asked the question.
Oh no, I clicked it.
Oh, you did.
Yeah,
right.
I allowed
So,
it to come in.
Yeah, right. So the question of how many parts, though, comes down to, do you include the frame as a part, right? So if the polymer 80 would be 16 total
For the lower. Gotcha.
Yep.
And what does that say at the lower left-hand corner?
Well, I don't know why it's not, you can't see it there. Maybe because of the screen, the way the screen is done. Yeah, it's cutting it off on the bottom.
What does it say at the upper left-hand corner on that first one?
What? Which one? This one?
No, go to the other one. Freedom Crew University. Freedom Crew University.
Yeah. These are part of, this is from our frame class. So I don't know if people know, but there's a frame class with me and Banshee. So we collaborated on a frame class. So you get.
I might have to sign up.
Yeah, it's awesome, right? So I mean, him and I have been wanting to collaborate for a long time, and so we created an entire frame class that is fucking dynamic. It releases on Friday of next week.
I might have to sign up.
Yeah,
I got to be honest, man. I don't really like Banshee.
I
love him.
Oh yeah.
Rogue Banshee is like, man,
right.
he's
I'll
awful.
tell you what. Look.
Oh, did you say Banshee or Banshee? I'm not sure which one.
Just for the audience tonight and all of us. All right. When I publish it next week. All right. So, we have to make a little bit of money. We charge a whole $9.99 for this class for you to be mentored by me and Banshee.
Oh my goodness.
A whole $10.
The nerve.
But use MGB Crew as a code and it will be free.
What?
That is insane.
All right. But anyway,
dude, we got 62 people in here. You sure you want to?
You guys are good to go.
That'd be
support the university, man.
Right?
Support the university, right? Just come and learn.
All right. Hold on. I'm going to jump on John Crump News and just make it short.
So it's Freedom Crew University.
Well, it's publishing next Friday. That class. It'll be in the self-paced section, so you do it as you have time. You can go through it, come back, and all that other stuff. But him and I, we collaborated on it, and it's a fantastic, walk you through the entire process of putting your frame together.
I believe so much in what Freedom Crew University is doing, and I'm not affiliated with Freedom Crew University in any way. I'm not being paid by them. I don't work for them. I don't have any contact with. But I
don't know the secret handshake.
I don't know the secret handshake, but
you didn't make the cut, guys. Sorry.
But I believe in Freedom Crew University so much that I'm going to start pitching it on probably four upcoming videos.
What?
And it's not a sponsorship. Really? It's not a sponsorship. It is just I believe in it.
We appreciate that much,
man. Brother. Thank you, man. Appreciate
but
that.
It's really, and I appreciate that so much, John. We have put an enormous amount of work into it to have this space where we can continue education.
Yeah.
And there's so much stuff that's already there, but there's so much more that we're putting up all the time. And there's a lot of people ask me for my old catalog. It's up there. You can download it. It's almost all of it is free except for my new stuff. It might be $4.99 or $5.99 for a full length video. Yeah. But all my old stuff is there that you can download for free, and as well as Banshee's catalog is there as well. Our new catalogs are there. Babyface P has his AK stuff up in the video download section too. Yep. So it is. We got the 3D printing class is free. Go take the 3D print intro to 3D printing.
That's crazy.
Free.
That's crazy.
Right. So man.
Let me. I do want us to hit this real quick, and I know we'll bring it to an end here shortly. This has come up a lot. A lot of people are saying P80s are done, right? P80s are done. All the attention from the ATF, all this stuff and that stuff, all the YouTube stuff. P80s are done.
No, done.
What would your response be to that? And each of you, all of you, MGB, P80 Jesus, whatever,
If we're saying that P80 is done, are you saying that building firearms is done? Because that's kind of what you're saying, right? Because are you saying P80 is done because they they're out of money?
Like the
Like,
company?
what are you trying to say by they're done?
So the way that I have interpreted it is that the building of 80% Glocks moving forward will be done. It's gone. And
Well,
I've always said there's too many people fighting for it to be done.
but they've already overcome that. Even if they lose this case, which by the way, we got a whole nother fucking problem there. If we can just make up rules as we go along. Okay, that's another whole discussion. But they already solved it with the bridge frame.
Yeah, Gerchop,
this is compliant with the rule.
We won Vanderstock.
So the building doesn't go away. So I guess that's what I'm kind of not understanding. When you say P80 is done, they've already created a frame that meets the definition of the rule.
Yeah. I would like some clarity. Gerchop, let me know what you meant by that for clarity. But also, you've been saying that for like 2 years. So, I would like to know more. But also, the thing is like even if P80 as a company is done, the building of 80% Glocks and we're nowhere near done. Also, we technically won Vanderstock. Hold on one second, I'm almost done. We technically won Vanderstock. The rule was vacated, right? So we had the injunction that was a win, and then the rule was vacated in Vanderstock, but now we're on a 7-day stay. So we don't know what direction that's going to go, but no matter what, bridge frames are lawful. Go ahead, Johnny.
Okay, so let's go ahead and hit this. We won the JSD, which actually is the company that pushed over the edge to vacate the rule. The rule is vacated, but it is stayed for 7 days to give the circuit court enough time for them to decide if they are going to stay the vacation of the rule or not. So in 7 days, it's less than 7 days now, the rule might go away again. Okay, so that is one thing that we got to keep in mind. But let's say that the circuit court decides, hey, we're going to stay the rule being vacated. Polymer 80 already has an injunction, so that injunction has nothing to do with the stay. Right.
Okay. So hold on. So pause. So that was one of the questions that we were bringing up earlier when MGB and Fluffy Bunny. I'll get to you in just a second.
That was great clarity.
So okay, that was the biggest question, because the question was, first we had the injunction, right? Now, of course,
injunction was not stayed, and they already said that they're not going to stay that injunction.
Well, just for an explanation for everyone, and Gerchop, thank you. He said, "I'm just trolling. Please forgive." Thank you. And I was just looking for clarity, genuinely, right? And I know you say that just to get me pissed off, and it does not work. Doesn't work. I'm just kidding. I love you. So the thing is that you have the case, right? You have the plaintiffs of the case. Then you have the judge that says, I'm going to grant an injunction that says you are allowed to sell the frame and jig, rails, bits, and everything together, because I believe, of course, you could suffer irreparable harm and blah, blah, blah. But that would mean the judge or judges believe that the plaintiffs are likely to succeed on the merits of their case, right?
Can I add on that?
Yeah.
Okay, an injunction, to get an injunction, you have to show a couple different things. The most important thing that you have to show is your likelihood to succeed on the merits of the case. You're not going to get an injunction unless you are likely to succeed on the merits of the case. That's the first step. That's a huge step to overcome. That's a lot to overcome. And Polymer 80, not only Polymer 80, but 80% Arms, DefCAD, all those guys got that.
Yeah.
Then the second part is you have to show that you suffer irreparable harm. Irreparable harm is harm that cannot be rectified by monetary means. And Polymer 80 and all of them prove that, because they're going to have to lay off people. They are going to have to shut down whatever, and they might not have enough money to operate because they can't sell anything. So
thank you, John Doe.
The irreparable harm part. So they prove that. The stay does not touch any of the injunctions. The stay is just of the vacation of the actual rule itself.
Okay.
So the injunctions still stand today. You can go on Polymerative's website, you probably buy frame, jig, and everything else. You can go to 80% Arms and still buy all that. They are still allowed to sell. The stay is just for everyone.
It's just for the vacation. It's not for, so the injunction still stands. So no matter what, the companies are still lawfully allowed to purchase kits where they have the frame, jig, rails, bits, and all that stuff. 80% Arms can still sell them, and the people that are purchasing them are still allowed to possess them, because the injunction extended to the companies, the purchasers, distributors, everyone.
Well, here's the thing: the purchasers, the rule affects manufacturers and sellers of frames and jigs. It doesn't touch you. It doesn't touch me. It doesn't touch anyone. So it's only the manufacturers of and people in the business, basically.
Okay.
Well, listen, but I think this is important for the audience to understand, because I mean, we do this like every day, okay? Yeah. And I'm glad John is clarifying this, because he's telling us shit that we don't know.
Yeah.
Me and Dark had a whole discussion this week. Like, what the fuck does this mean?
Yeah.
Like,
where does it put us?
Like. So understand that if it's confusing for us, it's got to be fucking deathly confusing for the average citizen trying to get their hands on a build, right?
Yeah. I've been trying to teach
John. In like my neighbor, husband and wife, they both carry, they both shoot actively. They had no idea what was going on.
Well, here's another thing, right? So they are suing in Vanderstock, and also the GOA case, and a bunch of other cases. They are suing, let's just talk about Vanderstock now, that the ATF, by doing this rule, by using their Chevron deference to pass this rule, they are violating the Administrative Procedures Act. Not only is it unconstitutional, but they are violating the APA. And we kind of know where the Fifth Circuit will go with this, because they use the same power to do the bump stock rule, even though the bump stock rule has been stayed, whatever. The Fifth Circuit decision has been stayed pending a registration by the Supreme Court, meaning they petitioned the Supreme Court. And if the Supreme Court takes it, then they're going to hear it, and the state will do until the Supreme Court decide. But let's not get on that. We know in that case, the Fifth Circuit ruled by a 13-3 margin that the bump stock rule violated the APA. Mm-hmm. We also know the Sixth Circuit came to a similar conclusion. And we know that the Seventh Circuit split 8-8, right? Yep. So we know that these circuits are thinking that the power that the ATF uses
is bullshit.
Went too far. Yeah. And that should tell you that that's what they're going to rule in the P80 case. But Vanderstock, I don't think we even make it to the Supreme Court, because they're going to hear Cargill first. And if Cargill if they knock down the bump stock rule in Cargill, the Supreme Court, then that's going to affect frames and receivers and pistol braces.
So go ahead, MGB.
Well, so I have just a quick question, because we talked about it earlier. So in that executive order stuff today that I read, in addition to the whole FFL thing, it also said that there, I think it was like 2 or 3, like right after it, was, hey, go make up some more rules, right? Like pull up the executive order, DLD. But it said in there, like, it was instructing them to go make up more rules and go through the rule process again. And it's like,
what's the EO number?
It just, I don't know, it happened today.
You got a White House. I'll get it if you want.
But that just struck me as like, you've got 2 major rules where you're taking a beating on, and you're putting out an executive order to tell them to go make another rule.
Well, here's the thing, right? A lot of this stuff he knows is never going to stick, right? So he is doing it as a payback to the anti-gunners. He's about to run for re-election, so he needs to get, he needs to solidify his base, especially when Democrats are chomping at the bit to take over whatever,
Yeah, so I guess my the reason why I'm bringing that up is because, as from what I understood on this case, like they're asking for this stay, or why they wanted it is because of financial reasons, right? It's costing them too much money to go do this, and this is their case. And it's like, but now you're being told to go down the same fucking road again. So like, at what point, honestly, it's you guys want to keep wasting your fucking our money fighting us. You shouldn't be given anything for that if you lose.
So real
today
quick.
was not an executive order. It was more of a executive action.
Okay, I was gonna say the only what I could see, the only thing I could see was the executive order where Biden was activating all of our emergency reserve troops. That's not strange at all. Rich, I know you said you got to run at midnight. It's 12:23. You got to run, brother.
Really?
Yeah.
It is. All right, Rich, we'll let you go. Rich, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Good hanging out with all of you.
Hey, careful when you're shooting those slap rounds through your 50, man. You heard what happened to your guy.
I don't know. Mexican ballistics? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Kentucky windage, something like that.
Wesley, right now you can if you don't build it, but if there's a law in Massachusetts that looks like it's going to pass, then you will not be able to.
And most places will not ship them to.
All right.
But really quickly before you answer Armitage, I do ship jigs. To my understanding, there are no laws, rules, regulations, restrictions, or anything that restrict me shipping jigs now. So I do ship jigs to Massachusetts. So if somebody ends up getting a frame somewhere and they need a jig, holla at your boy, DLD Hardware. I don't have 19 size jigs in stock right now, but they will be back in stock on next Wednesday. Sorry, go ahead.
All I can say about this, about the MUP ones, is stay tuned.
Well, they did publicly announce it. So, I mean, you probably...
Oh, they did? Okay. Then go ahead.
So, deterrence dispensed. And, well, if you guys have been...
Not deterrence, defense distributed.
Defense distributed. Jiminy Crickets. I'm sorry. So, I'm trying to stop taking the Lord's name in vain so much. Okay, guys. So, if you've been kind of... paying attention to what's happened over the past few years, 80% frames receivers have just been under attack, right? So the MUP 1, which is the SIG 320 80% frame fire control unit, and JIG, JSD took out the patent on that. They created that. They sold it exclusively through them and through some other distributors, but they stopped making it when they were under attack by the ATF, and they've been fighting them this entire time. And they just recently announced that they've partnered, made some type of collaborative deal with Defense Distributed. So you can purchase your MUP ones through Defense Distributed and the jig too. And Farmer James, if you're out there, give your jig back to your boy. All right, you've borrowed it for like 2 years now.
You need a jig for a MUP one?
No, it's just somebody that borrowed a jig from Ralph, and he just never give it back.
If you want to do a MUP 1, go to Freedom Crew University, go to my video, I'll show you how to do it with first time quality, then go to my Odyssey and print my insert, which will make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can there's a video all the way down on the bottom in the video section, walk you right through it, easy breezy. Plus Banshee has all his videos on SIG there as well. But if you're doing the P320, mine is up there.
I need to redo another 320.
I did one. And the SIG group is the drill guide. So I just saw somebody had questions about a drill, how to drill it. So there's drill guides in there, like what speeds to be at and all that other stuff.
Yeah. I have unfinished MUP one that I still have.
We should do a build party together. I got a MUP one and a jig too.
I don't have a drill press, and I'm not gonna freaking like.
Dude, I thugged it out on the floor with a hand drill.
I know. I'll buy a drill press for us to do it.
Yeah, we'll both throw down on a Haba Freight one.
Yeah, I mean that's cheap enough.
Yeah. But you can definitely do it. There's a connector for the Dremel to connect to large bits, right?
So it goes up to it can't do a 4 millimeters, so it goes to 3.8.
Yeah.
Right, 3.8 millimeter is the highest. But then you can buy the chuck, the adapter. But I can't remember this. I think it's what's the largest one on the MUP?
9 millimeter.
Oh, wait. You have a ghost gunner, right?
Yeah, but that's cheating. I mean, yeah, we could.
There is no cheating when there's building
freedom,
man. Any way we can get to freedom is fair.
You're right. You're right. You know what?
He's trying to take freedom away.
You're right. You know what? I'll bring over the GG3 and we'll knock it out together.
No, you can knock yours out on that because I can't do that because you sell me the GG3 for
I'm going
$1.
to sell it to you for $2,000.
Yeah. I'll buy it.
And
then you'll very quickly have buyer's remorse and then beg me to get. I'll say, okay, here you go. I'm just kidding. Well,
let's back up a second here, because this whole vacating the stuff in that decision was on the premise of you can't just go out there and make interpretations.
Yeah.
Like this. And this whole interpretation of tools is something they've been doing for years. That you just said you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
That's nowhere in the GCA. It doesn't even mention that.
That's true. That's true. And
so this is just something they came up with and said, no, you can't do it.
Yeah. So I think the important thing to remember is F the ATF. Benchy's good to see you, bro.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so look, that's what I was going to show you. Look at. What's up, Benchy's Go Boom?
He said, can I borrow one forever?
Practice your channel, guys, right? Practice your channel.
Nice.
So look. Walls. That inner U, right?
Mm-hmm.
The inner U. Come up to the wall.
The inner me.
Come up to the wall. Bang. The other wall on the other side. Right? Remember hand tools.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dremel. And then make an X. One corner to the other. Bang. And then the X to the other corner. Bang. Then come right down the middle.
Bang.
Right?
And then file that mofo.
Yeah. That's it.
Hand files. That was beautiful.
You know what I mean? I've done it once or twice.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Showing off the goods. Dude, we were showing off the Build Buddy earlier.
Yeah, you missed it.
We had
we called it the boomerang, but I had a student say something funny. I said the suicide.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing. If you ever seen that picture of that revolver with the cylinder and barrel coming backwards? Dude, it's the first thing I thought of was like, it's a dual gun.
But I think we answered the question though, right? The question was, and I think he was just trolling, he said, but I think the question was, it's not going anywhere. Yeah. I mean, we got to go through all this legal nonsense and mumble jumble, but it's not going anywhere. It's never going to go anywhere.
Yeah, and honestly, even if all polymer 80s disappeared, okay, if every polymer 80 just imploded like a submarine, every single one on the entire planet, we're still going to build, right? Like nothing is going to stop building. Nothing is going to stop the signal.
But what stops it is these state laws, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where they can't even get delivered. So like this Massachusetts law is terrible. I mean, it was already bad. This is the worst it's ever been, right? Like this is a terrible, but the thing is, until they're challenged, they're going to get away with it.
Yeah.
Well,
one thing that I know a lot of people had said was, if you guys remember, there was a time where California was actually completely outlawing, building on unfinished serialized or unserialized unfinished frames and receivers, and they kept saying to people that were working in the industry that, oh, we're going to work something out to where we can actually put it, where you guys can put it in the system, because they were like, okay, well then we're going to serialize them and sell them as firearms. And they're like, yeah, we need to update the system and get this and that and like a DOJ number and all that crazy shit, right? So they kept saying they were going to give it to them by June and then by July. Well, literally midnight, July 1st, Gavin Newsom published some, crazy ass law that was putting them back on emergency, from the COVID emergency. It put them back into an emergency status that allowed him to drop an executive order. At least this is the way I understand it. And the executive order said that they were following federal law. Well, at the time, that meant frames were guns, okay? Because first it was August, so a month after July when that shit dropped, it was you can't sell frames with jigs. So then they weren't selling frames with jigs. Then they were selling frames by themselves. And then they came back and said, frames by themselves are firearms. Now that's not the case, right?
Yeah.
But think about it. So here we are a year later, and they said that they're going to follow the federal laws. So that means California hasn't changed. So there may be some companies that are willing to take the risk to start selling certain kinds of frames in California.
That's a big risk, though.
It is.
Because they're going to get sued no matter what. I mean,
they're following what their state law says.
Yeah, I mean, but it like, what do I always say? What's the punishment, right?
Yeah, it's the process.
The process is the punishment, and they will cause a lot.
I'll say this. The people that are in California that are choosing to stay in California, to choose to continue to fight, they're not doing this shit for money. There's so much of the firearm industry business comes from California for parts, for, just so much shit. I mean, people in California are paying over $1,000 for a Glock.
We should make California the SpongeBob's new home. I don't know if you know the whole what Bikini Bottom SpongeBob, what it's supposed to be
under the sea.
Yeah, do you know what this referencing Bikini Bottom is referencing? Bikini Atoll, where they test all the nuclear weapons?
No. I had no idea.
Yeah. Bikini Atoll, they tested. That's where they actually sunk an island, which is insane.
That's not very kind of you, John.
That's what I'm just saying.
All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up. I know we stayed for a little bit longer than we had originally.
Great show, though. Great show. Everybody was here with us.
I was only popping in for a second.
I know that's how it works, though, buddy.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
MGB was like, I could do like 20 minutes.
I know, right? 2.5 hours.
Yeah, man. 2 hours and 20 minutes. Look at that. See, 20 minutes to 2 hours and 20 minutes. Beautiful thing. But look, I appreciate all you guys. I even appreciate Rich, even though he left early. But you guys, the real ones, stay till the very end, okay? And all you guys that saw me come in at the last second, I knew he was going to do that. All you guys that saw me come in at the last second, but no, it's okay. I got you. I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
All you guys that came in at the last second,
you're hilarious, John. No, go ahead, John. Go ahead. You can go.
All you guys that came in at the last second should definitely go to Freedom Crew University, because that's where you can learn how to build firearms, and that's where you can learn how to exercise your rights as an American. Because remember, your rights as an American is to build your own firearm. We have a history of building our own firearms dating back before the country was even founded. The colonists built their own firearms. George Washington, he built his own firearms, and he was the president and the founder of the country.
He built his own teeth.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, they were ivory. Thank you, John Doe, for the $5 super chat sticker.
Damn, another?
That's a badass John Doe.
Yeah, John Doe, you're the man.
But remember, you have to stay ever vigilant. These people are going to try to take your rights from you. They're going to try to take your liberty, but they can never take your freedom.
That's right. And they can't take your knowledge. So learn.
Yeah, 100%. And don't forget too,
be kind to each other.
Thank you, John. What we learned is that Freedom Crew University, that was originally going to be kind of a live build class kind of thing, has turned out to be so much more than you ever could ask for. And all those little videos that you've been looking for when I was like, man, I need to take down a 1911. I was like, fuck, I don't remember how to detail strip a 19. I could field strip the mofo, but I'm like, I'm needing to look up shit. So Freedom Crew University, right? And almost all the videos are free. There are a lot that you can purchase too, right? But that was what the people asked for. The viewers asked for that. But it's also become an incredible platform where we can put videos, where we can do shows, where we can do live streams. And I don't know if you guys heard, but I did my first Freedom Crew University live stream, and holy moly, it felt so good to be uncensored, banished, whatever you want to call it, right? Like being able to hold firearms, being able to speak freely, MGB, what would you say about it?
The dark files. Dark files, right? Uncensored. It was definitely even the thumbnail.
Yep.
Right.
Shut the God. That was all. I wasn't telling him to shut up. That's what it said on the thumbnail. Sorry. Yeah.
Bob, so look, man, we are creating in the pipeline right now is we're finishing the rest of the Glock stuff. Okay. And then we have the 1022 that is in the fall, along with our 1911 class that is coming in the fall, and restoration in the fall. So I already have 3 enormous market segments that I'm working on. So revolvers, yes, of course, we're going to cover everything, but that's probably not going to get into it until next year. We just got so much going on. I mean, the fall is going to be really, really big with those 3 programs being rolled out, both in video format, self-paced programs, and then, live instructor-led classes and events as well.
And, with the things heading in the direction that they are, it's likely that over the next year or so that you guys are going to start seeing like an 80% Beretta frame come out, an 80% 365 frame come out. That may not come to fruition, but you guys are going to see new stuff. And when new stuff drops, guess what? We're going to get our hands on it. And as the university, it's about building guns, right? We're going to get our hands on it. We're going to build it. We're going to figure out the best, most efficient ways to build it. And then we're going to make curriculum around it. So we're always going to be doing that. And look, if you've ever taken a revolver apart and opened up that side plate and seen the workings inside, that shit looks like a micro grandfather clock, man. It's crazy. It's hard.
Yeah, it's like a watch.
Yeah. So I'm sure we'll one day, we'll get to it, like MGB is saying, but be patient with us.
We just answered G23's question as well. So G23, you're asking, can anyone live stream on Freedom Crew University, or is it by invite only? So look, this is another whole segment of the university that we went down, and really, it was myself, Dark, and Banshee. We kind of we just had a powwow session of how do we build this, how do we integrate this into it. And so we now have it's built. We now have the capability to host anybody who wants to come over and not be censored, right? So like Doc said, he does his show. I do Sunday Night Survival there. But we're looking to invite others that want to be able to speak and don't want to fall into this. I got to be careful every moment of what I say, So the answer is yes. Anybody can come and stream and have their own. So it's set up that you can have your own channel. It's just you. Right. And if you use something like StreamYard and you're already streaming, you just plug that as another destination and it just goes to your channel.
Yeah.
Maybe I should set something up over there.
Maybe
stuff like that. I don't know if you have to.
You just set up your own channel and it goes to you. And We actually now have a live stream group too. So everybody that's in the stream, the idea is, right, again, we're trying to get all the gun curriculum too, right? When we went down this road, we were like, oh my God, we opened up Pandora's box, because we could have several shows a night, an 8 o'clock spot, a 9 o'clock spot, a 10 o'clock spot, right? We built this, we got it. It's all set and ready to go. We just got to deploy it, right? Fully.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know, what if we give something else away before we end? Is there something we can give away? I mean, could we give someone like a one-time code for any download of their choice, or like something like that? Or you know what? How about this? What if, as the head instructor, what if I were to give away an hour of FaceTime for troubleshooting Glocks, troubleshooting ARs, for finishing Glock builds, for start? I can't guarantee that we'll get through an entire build in an hour, right? But what if I gave away, would you guys in chat right now, we got almost 60 people in here, would you guys, thank you, John Pauly. Oh, if you're talking about me or him or him, all you guys are all doing great jobs, by the way. Give away Ghost Gunner. Yeah, no. What if I gave away an hour of time with me as an instructor, going through your Glock build, your AR, whatever build you got going on? How about that? Would you guys want that? Put a dick in chat if you would want that.
Yeah, or just go over to the group. Go over to Freedom Crew University, hit on groups, go in the Glock Builder group and say, I want, this is what we want. It's about you, right?
Yeah.
What do you want, right? So you go into the groups and he's like, this is what I need, right?
Yeah.
We need this.
Very good point. We got a hell yeah. We do have a dick. Thank you for the dick. I want an hour of deck talk. We got another dick, that counts. I'll take it. Can you point the camera at your feet, asking for a friend? Only for you, Toy Town. We have a laugh, a dick.
Does Toy Town know Sarge? Does he know Angry Sarge?
Yeah, he's seen. Well, I know he's seen him in in here.
Feet, man. That's all Sarge.
That's his thing, man. That's his thing. Mushroom. There we go. Okay, so then, all right. So here, do this. Go to Freedom Crew University. Okay, go into, if you don't have an account yet, make an account, and you could put John Doe. Well, there's actually somebody named John Doe. Whatever. Okay, just go in there, make an account, find one of the posts that I'm on, or create your own post, and just be like, I want an hour FaceTime with Dark, and then I'll do a giveaway from that. Okay.
We'll take that list of users and we'll spin the wheel.
Yep. Spin the mother.
Maybe we'll do a wacky Wednesday for it.
Hey. Brrr. Yeah, I would love to see that.
All right.
Okay, so on that note, we'll go ahead and wrap up here. I appreciate all you guys so much. And John, did you have anything to say?
Your mom.
Oh, that was a good one. Your mom's box. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Any thing that you actually would want to leave these delightful viewers with?
Me? Yeah, let me just say something here. You have to exercise your rights. Do not be scared to say who you are and what you believe in. There's a lot of people in the gun community that hide. They hide. They don't want their neighbors to know. They don't want their kids' friends to know. I am very, very open about it.
Yeah, I went for a walk today like this. All right.
100%. Just don't hide. Don't hide your beliefs. Don't hide who you are. I was with someone and they were listening to like a conservative podcast, and I'm a libertarian, but they're conservative, and they were going through a drive-thru and they turned down it because they didn't want the people behind them hearing what they were listening to. And I think that's bullshit. Be proud of who you are. Defend your beliefs, because they want you to be silent. They want everyone to assume that the majority of people are not like us, but the majority of people are like us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we need to do, because the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? And that's why people can be shut off CMT. Some country singer was shut off CMT for a song, and that's because they are squeaky. And so we need to be louder than them.
Be squeaky, y'all.
And we need to be louder, especially when it comes to our representatives. All they care about is getting reelected. So if they think that they have a better shot at getting reelected, if they do what we want them to do, that's what they're going to do. But we cannot hide and think that they're going to know that we're out there. So that's it.
Facts. Yep. Good point. And MGB, anything you want to leave the lads with before we go?
I'll see you on the university, man.
Hell yeah.
Crayons.
Yeah.
And remember, you guys get direct access to us through the university, right?
Yeah.
People are constantly posting, got an issue with this. How do I fix this? You better show pictures under the hood, though, or otherwise we don't believe that shit. Fat boy ass mofos up in there. And you have direct access to us, right? So if you go in there, post something, we'll draw those names, and you'll get a free hour of of a one-on-one like this. Basically, we'll do a StreamYard like this, and we'll do one-on-one time for an hour.
And you guys that are content creators that are in here, you guys are welcome with open arms to come in and create content anytime you want.
Hell yeah. Okay. Stay squeaky. Awesome. Oh, and MGB, happy birthday, man.
Thank you. How'd you know?
Today's your birthday?
Fed? No, not yet. But how'd you know? Fed?
Are you serious? I was totally joking.
Well, it's next week.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Bro, I totally didn't know that. Yeah, man, I wish I had papers to rustle.
DOB?
Your DOB. I know your DOB. DOB. I wish I had papers to rustle right now. Like, I had no idea. Damn it. That was a perfect opportunity. I got to keep some up here. Dude, I was totally joking.
I should do a Flipper Zero class on there, even though I have nothing to do with guns.
Hey, but it could be useful.
Flipper Zeros are very useful.
Then I'll definitely get that pack out to you, and I'll throw something in there for you. And to the people, I got 3 people that ordered patches and used code PWEDC10. Thank you for that. And Bob says happy birthday, MGB.
Thank you, brother Bob.
There you go. Damien Christ says happy birthday, MGB.
Thank you, Damien.
And I'll get that out to you, so hopefully you can get it by or before your birthday. But in the end, guys, I'm just like John said, just like MGB said, we don't necessarily want to, slap gun stickers all over our cars, right? Like OPSEC, right?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm not.
Sorry. I'm just saying, if people don't be like, oh, I'm gonna hide my beliefs. If someone like says, oh, we need to be anti-gun, just don't be quiet. Be like, why? Don't argue with them. Just figure why. And when they say their bullshit answer, be like, actually, blah blah blah. I got in plenty of arguments where people had their facts wrong, and I was able to rattle off actual studies and actual sources, and they're like, well, I heard it on Twitter, I heard it on Facebook. Well, guess what?
Right.
Dumbass.
Yeah. And now, even if you search something on the internet now, there's going to be, like, John, if you look up, are ghost guns, I know I hate to use that term, it's what they use, are ghost guns legal in Virginia? Something pops up that is really confusing verbiage, basically making you think that ghost guns are not legal in Virginia. And guess who it's by? Giffords. They're trying to make things as difficult as possible, and they're literally walking lockstep with Alphabet, with Google and YouTube and the federal government, and they're doing this specifically to hurt our message, our cause, our movement, and it's bullshit. So fuck them. And come on, PLA, no problem. If you didn't use it, it's okay. I will make sure the package is well worth it for you, brother.
Can I just pull up what Giffords brings up?
Sure, go ahead.
Really quick. It says a long-standing Virginia law regulates undetectable plastic firearms by generally prohibiting the manufacture, importation, sale, transfer, or possession of any firearm containing less than 3.7 ounces of metal.
So what does that mean? What they're doing is they're trying to
ghost guns.
Nothing to do. It is completely lawful for one to manufacture firearms in the privacy of their own home. What they're doing is they're citing the Undetectable Firearms Act and Virginia state laws that have absolutely nothing to do with this, and they're making people think that same thing. If you look up, I was talking to a buddy, and he was looking at is it legal to carry a gun in Ohio, and I couldn't duplicate his search results, but it was something crazy, and it was basically saying it's a permitless carry state too, and but Giffords is doing this to the not to take away from. I know we were coming up on the ending, so sorry.
I know, but I have. Can I ask something?
Yeah, go ahead.
How are they getting the #1 return on Google on that search?
How do you think?
I don't know.
The state Senate voted 22-17 along party lines to
ban. But this should be, this should be coming from the state. Should be the #1. If you type in anything other than that, when it comes to legal in Virginia, it should go to the state's.
Well, of course.
Well, this is because
guns
legal in Virginia. So it talks about the Senate vote.
Yeah,
but it never passed.
Of course it didn't.
It failed.
This is what they're doing.
But they just talk about.
So MGB, explain why that's coming up first on Google in big bold letters. Like, no need to search any further because Google just told you. Why is that happening? Because of the relationship with Google and YouTube and the federal government and the anti-gun groups.
And every town is right there.
Every town. Yep. Giffords, every town,
and it can go back up. Look at the dates. Go back up. We were right now. Go down again. You were just hitting it like all 2023, 3 days ago. Like this stuff isn't even backlinked.
Yeah,
it hasn't been there that long.
Money. That's how. Yep, absolutely.
On January 23rd.
Yeah, this is the sorriest excuse, but I wouldn't have even really I wouldn't have even taken a second look, right? Looking at it, right? And then so a friend called me and was like, bro, is X, Y, and Z legal? And I'm like, what? He said, I just Googled it and it said this. I was like, no way, it's completely legal. And I looked it up and I was like, oh my God.
So what are the new guns? So
but
wait. So July 1st, when was this written though? When was this published?
It doesn't say.
Wouldn't it be fantastic if it was published ahead of that?
Well, the thing is that's not a law either.
Scroll down. Whoa, hold on. Let me scroll down a little bit. Back to the highlighted portion. Okay, hold on.
Which highlighted portion?
Right there.
Right here.
To make your own weapon. Okay, no.
No, that's from a U.S. Law Shield.
Okay, so keep going down. What was the thing about the high capacity magazines?
It was the bill that was introduced.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so the bill provides any person who legally owns a large capacity firearm magazine on July 123 may retain possession of such firearm magazine until January 24.
But that's during that failed.
I know, but see, this is what they're doing to make it as confusing as possible.
Right. The average person who looks that up, they're going to be like, oh, I can't do it.
Yeah, they're going to say, oh, magazine, high capacity magazines or standard capacity magazines must be illegal. That's ridiculous. And then they wonder how people get this fear porn and freaking run around and, buy a case of Magpul mags, freaking out, thinking that they're not, they're never going to be able to get it again. I got 75 rounds of ammo on me right now, and I'm in my pajamas, y'all. Like, anybody should be able to do this. And so what? 51 plus 20, 50, 60, 72. Sorry, 72 rounds of 9mm right now. Anyway, this is crazy. We are under attack, and this is why it's important that we do something. Make a YouTube channel, okay? Just do conversations like this. We're going to end up with like 5-digit 1,000 hours of watch time here, or I'm sorry, minutes of watch time here from you guys just coming in, hanging out and having conversations. But we're talking about things that are either true or that we believe to be true, or things that we truly believe in, which is like gun building and the right for you to use whatever tool for self-preservation that you choose. That's up to you.
Well, look at this. Look at this one. Right.
Unfortunately, all this means that the most. What does it say? Succinctly accurate answer to the question. It is legal to 3D print a gun in Virginia.
That
is that it is complicated.
And you start the sentence with unfortunately.
Wow.
It is complicated whether you're no, it's not. You're
not complicated at all.
It's totally legal.
Dude, this is crazy. I'm telling you, and this is how when we do and we're getting reported.
Did he? Oh, he froze up there.
Yeah, he froze up. That's insanity.
Yeah, but it's true. I've been actually working on a story about this.
Right, but Virginia's like anything else. It's one small fucking pocket.
That is where we live in Northern Virginia is like all liberal.
Really?
So you have two liberal usually you have like three. You have Northern Virginia around Richmond and then you have like Tidewater.
Mm.
But the Northern Virginia is the most liberal, hive-minded area ever.
Oh, the stream was taken down, he says.
You freaking kidding me?
Bitch.
No, it's not. It's still going.
I don't know. Oh, he's asking the question, was it taken down? I mean, no, you just froze.
No, you froze. Are you coming back in, or do you want me to end it? What do you want to do?
We're still here chatting.
Yeah, I'm wondering, maybe you can get back in. Well, I mean, I can end it for him, I guess.
Yeah.
All right,
so how does he do his ending? Be kind, be compassionate,
take care of each other.
Take care of each other.
And keep that.
That's him.
Hold on. All right, do you want to end the stream?
Dude, I lost internet connection, I guess.
All right, well, you want to end, you're on speakerphone, so if you want to end the stream, you can.
Oh, hold on. It's back up. I'm coming back in right now.
All right.
All right, he'll come back in. Never trust a big button to smile. Great one. Come out and play. PLA. Oh, thank you, Horsepower Green. Well, great to meet you. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let's see what we got.
Dude,
oh,
sorry
yeah, back.
Man.
All right.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we got you, man. We got you, Crockett.
Oh, thanks. Okay. My bad, dude. I literally thought our stream was taken down, but I just lost internet for a hot second. Yeah. Okay, so in the end, guys, the most important thing is determine what rules you choose to follow in your life. Okay, inspect your deck. Yeah. I live my life by a certain set of rules. Okay. 3 of these rules I'd like to share with you guys, which every time I close every single stream, I close them with the same rules. Okay. Rule number 1 is to be kind. This is the most important thing that you can do. It is so important that brief interaction that you have with somebody else could have a massive impact on their life. Okay. So be kind. Number 2, live a life of care, compassion, contribution, give to others. When you bless others, you become blessed. Why? Because the hand that's open to give is open to receive. Now, rule number 3 is the most important. I live my life a quarter mile at a time. We all do, brother. Rule number 3, because we know the only way for us to defeat evil is with good men skilled in violence, make sure that you're becoming as highly skilled in violence as we possibly can be. And be safe, be dangerous, and keep that thing on you. Now, what thing you choose to keep on you is up to you, and it doesn't matter who in the federal government, the state, or the police, the GATF, or whoever else, they have no standing to tell you what you can. I mean, don't get arrested. I'm just saying. But here's the other thing. Remember how I said be kind, right? All right, now we're done. The closing is done. But just a little brief note. When I say be kind, could it be that maybe one day you're holding the door open for somebody that has opposing beliefs of you, okay? As you, right? So
that was revenge.
That was revenge. You got me. That was good. It actually scared me when the music hit that loud. Let's say you're opening the door for somebody that has opposing beliefs, right? That you do, and you're wearing a gun shirt or whatever. This has actually happened to me before, and you hold the door open for them. You smile at them. They say thank you, and they see you, and they see that you're, a white guy with a gun shirt and tattoos and all this stuff, and you're kind and you're nice. You hold the door open, you say hello, and then they walk away saying, "Oh my God." The media, alt media, everywhere I hear is that these gun people are like crazy racist nationalists and da da da. Show them something different, right? Show them that it is, number one, it's not true, right? They're getting fed just the absolute worst information ever. This is why people hate their neighbors. There was once a time that the rules of the game in life where you don't talk about three things when we were growing up. You don't talk about money, you don't talk about religion, you don't talk about politics. You don't talk about those three things. Now those are the only three things that we talk about. There was a reason for that, because those topics are divisive. Those topics will tear people apart, tear families apart. So just keep it about people. Be kind, love one another. Don't fall for this bullshit. They're gaslighting you, and the government hates you and wants you dead. I love all you guys. MGB, thank you for coming on. Thank you to John Crump, to Flying Rich, and all you guys. Most importantly, the viewers. Come to Freedom Crew University, and we'll give y'all some good shit. All right?
Yep. See you on the flip side.
All right. Y'all take it easy. Oh, and come to Sunday night Survival. Geez, sorry, my bad. Yeah. Come to Sunday Night Survival. Come check it out. I promise you'll stay. Love y'all. And last thing, don't forget, after this live stream posts and becomes a video on my channel, you can leave a comment. If you leave a comment, you're going to be entered in a giveaway, and you can win stuff like, these things and all sorts of other things that we give away. Yeah, do that. Leave a comment.